Welcome to the GCW Plants Podcast, episode 82. John, how are you doing tonight?
82, dude. I'm feeling really good. Here we go again live. How you feeling, dude?
Doing good. Yeah, 82. We're getting closer to 100 every week we get there. That's kind of crazy to
Yeah.
think about.
It'll get there. You know how that goes. It's a beautiful round number too. 100.
Yeah, we should actually plan something big for the 100 show.
Hmm.
Just thought about
Hmm.
that. Something we should have talked about maybe off.
No, that's okay,
off.
but that's a good point. Well, we're just talking here. That's
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, it's nice to just sit here and go live. It's nice to be sitting at a point to where we don't have to stop and start, outside of a technical thing. It's really nice just to fucking hit record and roll.
Yeah, I think on the last one I lost the internet. That wasn't my fault though. I lost the internet for a good couple minutes. That was scary, but so I kept on recording,
Yeah.
and I guess it just didn't record though. Since I'm the host of it, it didn't record what you guys talked about that whole minute. So I noticed it. It did come back. So now we know for the
Interesting.
future. Yeah. So now we know for the future that little tidbit will happen. So yeah, tonight we are covering J Cup, the Jersey J Cup for the second year in a row. It's kind of weird thinking about it. Like this, it was a year ago, but it feels like a lot longer ago to me. Like it feels like there's been so many shows in between that show and then now this J Cup. A lot has happened since the last Jersey J Cup, but another fun tournament and a strong tournament field.
Yeah, we had the coldest winter out of LA. Then we had that show out of Phoenix. A week later, then it was J Cup night 1 and 2. And it's just been, I mean, the LA and Phoenix show was just fire. And then here comes the J Cup, which unexpectedly, like to me overall, it was very wrestling heavy. I'm gonna find my words here eventually. Extremely wrestling heavy. I liked it a lot. And I'll throw that over to you. Just kind of what are your overall thoughts on it?
I loved the presentation, the feel, the crowd was hot. The videos in between in the matches too, but also the video before, like preview on night two, like the intro into night two before they head into the action. I thought was a nice little recap of night one. And I know we've been talking about the production and the videos and stuff, and yeah, this was another strong, quality production quality show. And I think that kind of helped build the little suspense for J Cup. I love the field. I love the talent. I thought there was a lot of strong wrestling as well. I just didn't feel like as emotionally involved or attached as I did last year. I don't think there was enough storytelling in between the matches and kind of injuries carrying over. At least off the top of my head, it felt like a lot different from last year. Because I remember last year, like Jordan carrying the leg injury and Speedball carried the leg injury, Jordan carrying the arm injury after the first couple matches. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I enjoyed it, but I just wasn't as emotionally involved as I was last year.
So what you're saying is the continuity of the injuries throughout the tournament. What you're saying, like, I'm just making sure I hear it right. Like the arm is injured, so the arm over the tournament starts to work out. I see what you're saying now. Sorry, it took me a second just to get.
Well, I think also the urgency of the wrestlers throughout the matches too. Like it felt like the urgency of winning the matches to win the tournament and to like save that energy and stuff like that. I didn't feel like the sense of urgency from the wrestlers, and it didn't feel to me. It didn't feel like as important as last year. And I don't know if that's just maybe because the novelty of year one last year, and actually it was really good in ring too. I don't know. I just felt like there should have been more. I didn't feel the drama, I guess, throughout this tournament as I did last year.
Interesting. Um, hmm. Here's what I would say. I think the one storyline going in was the Jordan story, right? Jordan and Griffin McCoy.
Yeah.
That was the story going in. I again, this is just me playing with some others' toys, but I would have really pushed the Great Sasuke versus Mike Bailey since it was the main event and it was just over the top. I would have loved to have put that out there for 2-3 weeks ahead of time, so a lot of people know about that one.
Yeah, that was a great main event tonight one. And yeah, like I guess we had the storyline that I kind of predicted on the last episode. I wanted to see kind of Jordan go through some former tag champion stuff. So there was a lot of possibilities of storylines. But it felt like it was all in one bracket. Like, yeah, Jordan's bracket. Like that was like just that one big story. I just wish there was, I don't know, a little bit more, but the action was incredible, just like the year one. I have nothing bad to say. The tournament was a great showcase of talent of independent wrestling. A lot of new faces this year too. Some old faces from last year, which I don't mind. I kind of wish I saw a little bit more new faces that weren't in the tournament last year, since there is a lot of young talent that GCW has been using. But the talent stepped up, great matches, and I was thoroughly impressed. Like, each match was stylistically very intriguing throughout the whole tournament, and they all delivered to it in fun and exciting ways.
Okay, I'm gonna go against you. I'm so sorry. I love you here. Okay, I like that there were more veterans in this tournament. I
Yeah.
felt like it kind of raised the importance, but I also see your side when it comes to the younger. Um, were they mostly featured in that scramble on day one? Is that where they kind of fit in off the top of my head? Let's see who's
Other
that.
than
Well,
man like
not really.
DeReese, other than like man like DeReese and like Mikowski, which I thought maybe could be like in that scramble because they haven't been utilized on GCW more. I like they would have fit better in the scramble than I think like a Billy Starks or the Charles Mason or Cole Radrick. Yeah, Jack Hartwell. Like those are four regulars that you could have thrown in that in the space of like kind of non-regulars to still kind of give them a match on the J Cup and showcase some talent. That I kind of agree with you there. Like I wish I would have had the regulars more predominantly placed than other than just put in the scramble.
Mikowski looked good too, man.
I thought that match was going to be good, and yeah, it delivered on everything I thought it was. I love him. We'll get there, but yeah, he showed out. I'm glad he got that moment to show out. That's what I think this tournament's for, and I'll get into it later. Near when we talk about the winner and stuff like that. I love this tournament because I think it's there to showcase the young, great independent talent. Now, like when I said I was like I wanted to see new names, it didn't have to be like new young names. I just wanted to see new names that weren't in the tournament last year. I guess I should go back and
Gotcha.
count here how many wrestlers from last year showed up in this year's. But yeah, like I think Tony Deppen is there to like raise the name value. His name value will raise the J Cup prestige and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the
Yeah.
veterans were used properly in that situation.
Yeah, the pairing on some of these. I mean, you're looking at I mean, just Nick Wayne and Marcus Mathers for the first match. Don't use that as an example, but match number 2, you had Tony Deppen and Mikowski. You had someone with a little more, further down the road, and then you have somebody a little newer like Mikowski. You have man like Derice, newer, up against Masha Slamovich, who's not newer, but definitely experienced. This happens again, Joey Janela and Kerry Morton. So there we are again with that veteran kind of first round. John Gresham, Alec Price, same thing. You're going to see this across the board. It looks like it was more or less like a younger cat and then a veteran kind of thing going on there.
Yeah, and it's good because I think those names do help elevate how prestigious this J Cup will be kind of looked at in the future. After, especially now, this is year 2 of it. Kind of hope it does kind of build a little bit more prestige, and we could get some other talents maybe that aren't being used on some of the other bigger promotions and that mostly work independents as well. I think the field could be even bigger than 16. I know that 16 is long. They drag that out for 2 days. Not drag it out, but I mean they have to because the wrestlers are going to be wrestling 4 matches in one day if they do the 1 day tournament. But I think that also does hurt it. I think I said this last year too. It kind of does take. Well, I don't think I felt it last year. I think the way that night 1 ended and like with all the stories and drama, I think it got me excited that it ended and really looking forward to night 2 and seeing it all like kind of culminate and get a winner. I was excited to see it. This one, I enjoyed night 1, but like night 2, I like I said, I wasn't into it as much. No shot on all the wrestlers and the talent and anything else. I think it was just me. I had a little bit bigger expectations going into this tournament.
I'm gonna let that fly and let it be.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I'm, you know what I mean. I can't counter, and I can't, you know what I mean. I'm gonna let it fly for you.
All right. Well, shall we begin round 1 tournament action?
Hell yeah, let's rock and roll, dude.
All right. First match of the J Cup tournament, we saw Marcus Mathers going against Nick Wayne. I will always say this now, but even though he still looks like he might get a couple of GCW bookings here, which is very nice to see. I was kind of worried about that when we first kind of did that farewell. We've seen him 2 or 3 times, I think, since then. But yeah, him being in this tournament got me really excited because I think that's what this tournament for like a young talent like him. Now, I probably wouldn't have had him win either if I had to pick because he is on TV already and it wouldn't really help that's kind of seen too much because we won't see him anymore.
Hmm.
But him being in this, I think, added a nice, very talented big name that kind of Marcus Mathers had to step up to. And Marcus Mathers had a good one-on-one match. I think he needs more of these. These are what I was like kind of missing from him back when he had a lot of showcase one-on-one matches before Nick Wayne showed up.
Hmm.
So kind of like I think I said before, Nick Wayne kind of, in my opinion, showed up and kind of pushed Marcus Mathers off to the side a little bit on GCW's radar. So that was kind of my storyline going into this match. I was like, oh, I wonder if they do play into that. And I think Prazak did a good job on commentary throughout the whole tournament, but especially in this match, praising Marcus Mathers and kind of help elevating him to the fans watching it to Nick Wayne's level to kind of like, yeah, Nick Wayne's on TV, but Marcus Mathers probably is one of those next people that might be on TV as a young talent on the indie scene.
Well, I'm going to go straight to my notes. I put great choice for an opener. The future looks bright. If you add Perch in the mix, all have 20 plus years left in them. That was the first thing I was thinking of. I go, look at all the talent in the ring. I believe all under 25, right?
And this one, yeah, I don't know how old Perch is, to be honest, but yeah, I believe think Marcus Mathers is just like 22, 23 maybe. So yeah, all under 25.
Yeah. So the dueling cheers was also a good sign back and forth. I really like seeing that, and I believe they were ready to go heel and face if they needed to, but it just never happened. The fans were just so solid and happy to see both of these two, both of them go at it that, that's all we needed. And um, 15 minutes and 48 seconds. I wanted to mention this before we go further into the show. I wrote this stat down and didn't tell you ahead of time. 15 minutes and 48 seconds is the average match time on this show. That's wow, almost 16 minutes a match.
I'm glad that Marcus Mathers and Nick Wayne got this time too. I was kind of worried on the time restrictions, and I didn't know exactly what night one was going to look like if they were going to do two matches,
Mhm.
like 2 rounds, and then finish it the next night. So I was interested in the time limits of the matches, and yeah, this first one kind of did set the tone. 18 minutes as the match was going, I looked at the time and I forgot like the movie and stuff like that in the intro, but it was like, yeah, it ended at 24 minutes. I'm like, they got like 20 minutes, but 16, they told a good story. And like I said, this was perfect for Mathers. I hope they kind of start using Marcus Mathers a little bit more. And
Yeah.
these kind of matches are good to start rebuilding him. Maybe he could start filling in the Nick Wayne version again, like the hole that kind of Nick Wayne left. Maybe he could kind of fill in while he's gone. And I'm glad he delivered. And Nick Wayne, I thought he was going to play heel. Didn't like the match kind of start with him like
Mhm.
not taking a handshake or something like that. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, oh, they're going to play into the AEW Nick Wayne.
I think at first they were kind of going for that, and I don't think the fans bit. They were
I
too
don't think they
happy.
are going to bite for Nick Wayne. That's going to be a
No.
hard one to get the into, like especially GCW fans who seen him grow literally before our eyes. We're not gonna boo him. It's gonna take a lot, but
No.
well, we talked about some possible epic turns with regarding Nick Wayne. That would be kind of cool.
So our winner in this one, Nick Wayne, he'll be advancing on to the second round.
Nice, yeah, and that was part of my bracket. I think you had Nick Wayne winning in the first round too on your bracket.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was another thing too. Before we go on, thank you for the brackets again. Like it was funny. You asked for it, and then like 2 hours later, like, all right, we're gonna get a bracket later on tonight, and then boom, it shut up. I'm glad they do that. I think it does add more excitement for like the hardcore fans like us to, especially like when we're not like trying to make content off of them, but like it's kind of cool to see other people's brackets and kind of talk about it and
Yeah.
discuss like how we were doing in our Twitter threads and stuff. It's a lot of good discussion points, and I'm glad that they were able to put a bracket here together right before the show.
And basically, it's exactly what we try to do. We're just trying to promote the community to be more engaged and have more things to bite on in the off time. And that bracket really gave a lot of the fans a way to, just gave them something to have fun with, bite on. And again, yeah, the communities on Twitter and on Facebook kind of talking to each other. And that's what we want to see. We don't have a lot of inside GCW fan fights. And yeah, things like brackets and whatnot, fantastic. Good
We
choice.
had, we had a lot of good discussions, though, that's for sure. Not in fighting, but a lot of good discussions on how this tournament would play out.
Yeah, my bracket got blown up pretty hard on the first day. So I'm
Uh,
not gonna, you know, my guys
I
that I really thought that were gonna advance on the first day advanced, but yeah, my shit got blown up.
Yeah, my one bracket did play out the way I wanted to, so I was kind of happy about a quarter of the bracket. One quarter, one little bottom left corner of the bracket I loved and
Now I'm
hit everyone.
okay. So now I got to look it up real quick here. I got to look at my bracket that I filled out. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So, yeah, Nick Wayne was going to be my winner in my bracket. He was going to go over Mathers, but yeah, I still stick with it. Mathers is fantastic, and hmm, uh, if we didn't have Nick Wayne first, I would say that Jordan Oliver would go well with Mathers in some way. If they could become cohesive, then they would be popular and they would do well because they're both young. Ladies love them. What are you going to do? You know, that's it's seriously, it's how it works sometimes.
Yeah, we saw their chemistry too with a lot of the East West Express versus Mathers and Dylan McKay, Wasted Youth. They had quite a few matchups, but we talked about it. Yeah, they had a lot of chemistry there and stuff. I thought this was good. I thought that was good match for Mathers, but also a nice good match for Nick Wayne to advance on to the second round. And here's where my bracket got busted already in this second match, as we have Matt Mikowski going against Tony Deppen. Uh, this had everything. This was a technical masterpiece on the ground, and actually with the high flying, with the flying armbar, that was crazy. I think Mikowski delivered. I think he stepped up, and he had a great show. I think this was a breakout for him. Like through throughout this tournament, I enjoyed everything he did. And I think he maybe stepped up to the next level and was hopefully get some more bookings, maybe on the GCW shows, not just the JCW shows.
On the last show that we had, I said, well, I'm going for Deppen, but I felt like maybe switching because Mikowski's been getting such a push. He's the hot commodity right now. He's one of the new things. And yeah, I didn't listen to myself and I picked Deppen for this one for the win. So yeah, let me see if I have my notes here in front of me because I should. I have Matt's entrance with the wolf mask and the red eyes. It's also a level up in the wrestling department when it comes to bringing Matt over here. I said he was a perfect opponent for Deppen. Deppen was facing this match. Both both guys wrestling heavy, and I put comeback Matt. I was really concise on my notes, and those are the things I just wanted to say. When the wrestling gets this good, this thick, and this heavy on a show, it's hard to sit here and go, well, there was an armbar, there was this, there was that. I would have to say I will not be able to describe what went down at this show as well as it did because the wrestling was just so well done. And it's hard for me to go perfect armbar, all right, into a perfect leg lock. I mean, it doesn't sound as good, but my vanilla words don't really describe just how damn well they did during these matches. The wrestling, just wow.
Yeah, I this was a good technical match, like you said, like that's how I expected it to be, and it delivered. It was is exactly what I was hoping it would be, and I had Tony Deppen as well. I thought maybe this would be Tony Deppen could kind of go on a little deep run like Joey Janela did last year, and I think this is where I go back to what I was saying at the beginning of this podcast, where the intensity level and like not the seriousness of it, but like do you want to win the J Cup? Like, I don't know. Tony was his normal playful self. And I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of was hoping to see like the mean Tony Deppen that like shrugged all of the like how he used to come out like in the Ring of Honor, like get the fuck off me, don't touch me. I'm focused, I'm in the zone. This is my time.
Yes.
Like especially now with him coming back, like that's what I was really hoping for. And once I saw kind of smiley the Tony Deppen, I think that might have been the start of me souring a little bit on like the intensity level of this tournament, just because of that. But I mean, that's Tony's character. He just was doing his character. I was just hoping for a little switch up to kind of help build the importance of this tournament. But the in-ring definitely killed it with Tony. Like I expected he to make him and Matt look good. And yeah, I think he made Matt look like $1,000,000. I'm glad to see Matt healthy again and out there making these $1,000,000 matches because that was good. I was hoping after this match, I was really excited to see what we would get from Matt for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, Matt came out of this thing looking like $1,000,000. And he was also our winner. Our winner here, Matt Mikowski.
Yes. Good, strong second matchup. And then totally differently stylistic matchup, different than what we just saw in the first match. I think that's another thing throughout the whole tournament. We saw totally different kind of matchups, and I didn't see a lot of repetitiveness either, which was kind of a very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Each wrestler switched up their move set, switched up like how they got into the moves. They kind of did storytelling on like the lot of finisher reversals here throughout this tournament, which I loved because it kind of did show, hey, the familiarity of it. They did do tape work. It kind of like brought the more realism to the tournament, in my opinion. Like they did study and playbook and stuff like that.
What's up, Alan? We got our
Oh, Alan,
chat
what's up?
rolling now. Here we go. Okay, so the point I want to make here is that ever since I've been watching GCW, every tournament that I've watched, it seems like they've always done a good job with kind of making sure that each match is unique. There's not a lot of companies that do that sometimes, but it seems like there's always been one hell of a good effort to make sure that everybody isn't seeing the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's what too for me. Jordan last year, I think he won every single match with a different finisher. Like he had the
Yeah.
orange crush, he had the torture crab, he had the acid kick, and then I think I forgot what the other one was. But yeah, like I think that's what like made it feel different because he had to switch it up because he was facing the Joey Janela's, the Speedballs who were familiar with him. I don't know, like I think there was two different tournaments that I kind of saw play out, but yeah, definitely ain't complaining. Matt killed it, Tony killed it, and yeah, good technical match. Good difference from the first match of the Young Guns going at it.
Yep. And there's Alan again in chat saying watching the J Cup was lit. I only missed Mathers versus Wayne, but that was only because I was on my PS5. Yeah, I'm a Call of Duty person, and I still play Friday the 13th a ton. So yeah, I kind of get that, but if you get a chance, go back and see that Mathers and Wayne, Allen, because we were just talking about it, and that was a fire ass match. A little bit over 16 minutes. Just the future.
Yep. All right, that will lead us into our third matchup, as it is Man Like Darius. Oh my gosh, I lost my page here.
Versus
Man Like, yeah,
Masha
there we go.
Slamovich.
I'm about to say I should know this. Going against Master Slamovich, yes.
We've never done that before like that. We've
No,
never actually
you
done a
took over.
half announce. That was pretty cool.
Talking about stylistic differences. I had no idea what's expected. This is one of those matches where I'm like, I'm hoping for Brett's craziness to shine through in this one. Like this is one of those matchups where I wouldn't have just put those two together because just stylistically different. But when Brett does those crazy matchups, they deliver. And fuck, Man Like Darius, man, he is killing it. I after this match and as this match was going, I was rooting for Man Like Darius, but he was showing me something here where I was like, maybe he's like the outside person that would win. Because that was the one thing going into this tournament. Everybody kind of picked the same winner, but that's another thing we talk about the GCW terms. They kind of sometimes, as they start, feel like we have no idea who is going to win, and then we get some of these upset winners and big surprises happen. It kind of makes it feel good that we can't really predict it. And this match was totally unpredictable. It was awesome. For a good part of this night, this was my matchup of the night.
For me, the Alex situation on night 2. We'll get to that, but that turned this tournament on its head. I don't know if it's just our atmosphere of thousands of GCW fans we know, but I could say safely 80 to 90% of the fans that I was talking to and showing brackets had Alec Price versus Jordan in the finals.
Yep, that was the overwhelming winner that I saw.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Alan says, what's crazy for me is the run that Jordan went on. Ex-YDNB member Griffin, former MLD partner Reed. Then we had the East-West Express partner Wayne. Just wish he got Alec in the final. That's exactly, I think, what we were thinking. I really thought that Jordan was going to basically go through all of his old people. I thought that would have been cool as shit. What an awesome test. And then Alec on his side of the fucking... Oh God, he had a whole nightmare. He had to go through Gresham, Janela, Slamovich to get to Oliver. Like, what a fucking climb that would have been too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. Putting it on Slamovich is very interesting. We'll talk about that, I guess, when we get to it.
Yeah, we got a lot more matches so we get to that part. Yeah, what was your thoughts on this match? Like, how do you think it played out?
Okay, so man like Doris, Masha. I wrote down because I'm a big fan of red that everybody was decked out in red and black. I don't know if you saw that. It was one of those times where it fit the JCW motif perfectly.
I
I don't know.
kind of noticed it, I thought, but I didn't really like keep on paying attention to it. But now you're seeing it. Yeah, I see the red GCW logo. Yeah, man like Doris and Masha with the red. I loved. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see man like Doris's pants? What he had on his pants?
Oh, I just
He
couldn't
had
remember.
the lyrics to his song
Oh, was it
on one of
just
his
like
legs.
was it just like a
No, like so
like just
on the front of his left leg is all the lyrics of the song, like literally like what he says word for word. And I thought like that's what we need. Like maybe put that on the screen, even like have like little like letters jump in like old school
yeah,
Sesame Street or
a
something. Like
ball
yeah,
bouncing.
like they're like a karaoke kind of rap to kind of like get the fans
Oh
into
my
singing the
god.
012. Well, I don't know. But I loved how he did that for his pants, and he did that as kind of a memory, like a for his memory for the J Cup. And I thought that was super cool of him. I
Mm,
thought that was a cool look too to have his lyrics on the pants because we always talk about like, hey, we need to slow down the song and have the lyrics. He's just like, here, motherfuckers,
yes.
it's on my pants.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would love to we won't go into the song, but I would like to see it to where there's something that the American audience can kind of click with and um through exposure and maybe having some time maybe someone will start to like Spanish isn't my language and I'm trying to learn the Los Macizos song, you know. So um let's see. Alan's saying, yeah, the Jordan situation. Yeah, we wanted Alec to win here. I thought it was going to be a nice handing of the torch. And B earlier was saying how, it really should be the earlier people. I mean, the younger people in here kind of fighting because this title's to kind of elevate the younger talent at GCW. That's our assumption
That's my
of what it
perception
is.
of what that title should be.
Oh,
Yeah, in the
perception's a
tournament. Yep.
way better word than assumption.
Well, I do
Um,
assume a lot. That's why I'm always looking like an asshole in all these picks.
I wrote down that Masha and Doris were putting on their own form of a clinic. The wrestling clinic was just good. Plenty of false finishes. Masha basically comes out over Doris, which was just, I kind of thought it was known, but Doris has had a fantastic, 2 weekends with GCW, LA, Phoenix, and then night one here. So he
Yeah.
had a great showing out, and I think he's already back in England right now. So thank you so much for coming over, dude.
Yeah, and from what I gather, I don't think that will be the last we see of him in the near future, which is
Nope.
very exciting. Um, I think this also just showcased how good Masha is too. Like she could go any style, any wrestler, and have a really good match. Like this was completely like off the wall of what I think like anything that she's kind of faced recently in GCW specifically, with Doris's strength, his high flying moves, his everything. Like it's something completely different. And she killed it. Like she delivered, and this was another match that made her look really good too. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I thought this was like the one surprise. I thought this was going to be the surprise of this kind of tournament. Man, like Doris pulling off a upset victory over a former GCW world champion and like get the crowd behind him kind of going into the second match and get like talk it up and how big of a moment that was because of, as you said, the killer run he's been on, LA, Phoenix, and wherever else I forgot he was on before. But that's what I was kind of hoping for and looking out for during this match. But this was a killer match. I loved it. I didn't think I'd like it as much because I didn't know what to expect. And man,
Yeah.
it was good. I loved all the false finishes and everything in this match. It was a good match.
If we could get Doris and Slater out here together for tag team action, I would love it. We do a lot of praying and hoping over here at the podcast, and every now and then the great Lauderdale touches us with like a blessing. And gosh, I'd love to see Doris and Slater out here and maybe give this tag division a run for its money for just a little bit amount of time.
That would be a fun tag team. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't even say anything else. I would be, if they were to be able to like kind of go on a little run here and establish themselves, that would be with the tag teams that GCW's been getting now. That would be fun. The man like Doris versus Slater, the first match I thought of war dogs. Like that. Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, Los
Yeah.
Precisos.
You
See,
could
the thing
wish.
is, though, is I don't know if those guys want to get their faces cut. I don't know if they're that kind of GCW worker because they
They
are
don't got their
young and
get their faces cut anymore. I don't know. I was kind of having this discussion a little bit
yeah.
offline. Maybe we'll could talk about it later if we got time. But uh, the need for cutting or like the I don't know death match. We'll talk about death match later if
Okay,
we have
okay.
time. I know it's weird during the J Cup, or maybe we could save it for next episode or something. But I got a nice discussion on death match that I kind of caused an uproar on. All right. Should we head on to match number 4?
Yes, sir.
Joey
Oh.
what?
Did you see what Al? Sorry, I'm so sorry here. I just said ooh at the same time you called match 4. He's calling Zilla and Jacob Fatu will dethrone Violence is Forever.
I don't think we're gonna see Zilla much anymore for a little bit.
You're thinking he got picked up,
Well, he just got pulled back in with
arrested?
reality of wrestling. He just got pulled back in with Booker T, and I don't know how much they're gonna let them kind of do a bunch of work.
Gotcha.
I mean, they let Culture Inc. do a lot of stuff too. So I don't. I'm just my original thought of seeing that was like, oh, they kind of made a big deal about like him going back home to reality of wrestling. Kind of makes it feel like they took him off the indies, but who knows? It's wrestling. Who I don't know. That was my assumption when I saw that today.
I didn't fucking
That would
know
be a
that,
good.
dude.
That would be a crazy violent match. Zilla and Jacob Fatu versus Violence is Forever. That is a definitely of a banger tag team match there.
I do like the Cole Price team together too. Those guys, it's just a nice team because they're likable in two different ways.
Yeah.
So okay. Booker wants to get Jacob WWE. Yes. Okay. We got this. Sorry, man. I
No
off
good.
tracked you there.
All right. Match number 4 was Kerry Morton going against Joey Janela. Yeah, I'm all for this Kerry. Kerry needs to the garbage daddy. This is a fire J. I am loving what Kerry Morton is bringing to the GCW table with this old school territorial wrestling. I'm in with it.
Mhm.
Janela was a perfect vibe match to kind of keep it going with. And, Janela ain't going to do with that shit. So seeing the struggle of kind of keeping it non-extreme while Joey's trying to get as crazy as possible for this tournament, kind of take Kerry out of his comfort zone. I enjoyed the kind of struggle that this match kind of told storyline. And Kerry is killing it as this role, and I'm glad he's kind of found a little niche into GCW, and especially in this providing something completely different, and it's been perfect for what he's been showing on GCW programming lately. You're muted. I did it last time. It's on you
Oh,
today.
thank you so much. Hey, Fire J's over here too. He said, Carrie and me filmed that promo before the show, and that dude is off his rocker, Mr. Game Changer. Hey, no shit though.
I
I'm gonna
love it
tell
though.
you, down in Phoenix, I was sitting there in like that coffee shop area down there, and I was watching Carrie out there walking through the crowd, just working the fucking crowd. He's like, I will kick your ass. And then he goes over to someone else. There was a guy standing there with a number 73 jersey on, and he didn't even know Carrie was out there doing everything. He's like, number 73. He's like, yeah, you, fuck you. And I'm like, wow, he's out there trying to get heat. And I just thought it was fantastic. And I don't know if I've ever seen another wrestler do that in a long time. Big
Matt
fan too.
Taven. That what I was just about to bring
Taven?
up. I'm like the last person I saw kind of do that at like a good level, like before the show at the merch table. Like all the lines waiting to get into the show, and he's at the merch table. He just stands up and starts like berating the fans, and like before the show, the fans already going into the building all pissed and mad at him. Then when he came out, like the chorus of boos is perfect. Like that is cool if Kerry's doing that, because I was about to say I also saw the different version of Kerry outside of his match. Like he was like just backstage, like talking to some other wrestlers and fans, but like he's such a soft, nice, calm dude. Like it's kind of funny though seeing him carry that character and doing the promo work outside of the show for the fans. That goes into the territorial shit that we've been kind of saying the last couple shows about him.
And if we keep seeing him, he'll sink into GCW more and more. It's going to take some time, but what he's doing, I say, will work. I'm also a big fan that we don't see him show in and show out. I like that he's sprinkled just enough in there to when he comes over to our place, he's still fresh. Everything he does is fresh. His mic work is fresh. I think that's what I'm trying to say there. Kerry knows how to get his ass kicked, was what I put down here. Heel 101. That's his dad's work at play. A lot of emotion in this match. It had a very tense feeling. You could feel the emotion between Morton and Janela, and I really like that a lot. But yeah, 17 minutes, and I was begging for more. These two can really, really carry. No shit, Kerry. He has a good emotion to him. Also, Kerry can look scared. He can look mad. He can look, he can work up a crowd. Fantastic work. Just keep him around, and he's going to have that crowd as putty in his hands eventually. It'll just take time.
I think you labeled it perfect. Heel 101, man. Yeah, that's it. He's just doing the old school heel, like the facial reactions, yelling at the crowd, the dancing in front of the ladies in the front row. Like, he's kind of reminding me of like a new school Tony Deppen, like the anti GCW. Like, I know Fire J said like he called himself Mr. Game Changer. Like, he's kind of like Mr. Anti Game Changer. He doesn't want to do the hardcore stuff. He doesn't want to do all that extreme stuff. He wants to go back to old good old days of wrestling and kind of keep all that hardcore stuff out. And I could see him that kind of doing what Tony did. Like, maybe when someone tries to get extreme and throw a table in or door, or he just knocks it right out of the ring and nope, we ain't doing that shit. I could see Kerry filling in a different version of anti GCW Tony Deppen. I think that's kind of his perfect spot right now.
I'm waiting for the ultimate disruptor to come through GCW, like a Fatu, and he just runs through everybody. And I'm waiting for the day that Cardona becomes a face. He's like always saying, I'm GCW, I'm this, I'm that, I'm it. What happens if one day he has to actually defend GCW? Wouldn't it be a great little face turn?
I think there's quite a bit of possibility. We were kind of talking about that maybe with using this Jimmy thing of maybe we like Jimmy kind of rubs off on Matt and like the crowd starts kind of like Matt Cardona, plays off on Jimmy. Like, this kind of reminds me of like the bloodline kind of thing. Like with Sami Zayn, you just enter a random person into like this shit and it has nothing to do with it. So he's going to do his own thing. Like Jimmy's going to do his own Jimmy Lloyd shit. And he's going to get like one of these natural reactions out of Cardona. That's going to be like one of these you can't hate but to smile and laugh at it, like how Sami Zayn always used to break the bloodline and make them break character. That kind of slowly turned Jey Uso face and stuff like that. And I was kind of picturing maybe a possibility when we were talking about all these things that Broski Jimmy could do nowadays with Cardona. That was one possibility. And that there still is. I think he can possibly be like one of those people defending GCW, but I think you'd have to get a big heel that nobody likes. Like AJ Francis might have been a good kind of start of like Cardona heel face. Like, no, hey, motherfucker, this is, you ain't coming in and trying to do my kind of shit and take over and you get let go from the company and make a name for yourself here. Like, I've already done it. Not going to do it on my company. I thought that was a good place to start because AJ Francis is kind of like the antithesis of GCW as well. Like, he doesn't kind of fit the mold of what we kind of expect from GCW. And when he showed up, he got major heel heat. And I think that he would be a good foil for someone to turn face to represent GCW.
AJ gets some crazy weird heat.
I'm all for seeing him back again, though.
But it's like he's got go away heat in there with real I hate you heat mixed in there with I'm just a heel heat. It's really interesting. I don't see a lot of heels that get as much actual shit as he gets. It's really interesting. Like, we have Tony Deppen as a heel, but no one's really giving him shit online. And, no one's really, we do our part as fans to say, fuck you. But it seems like AJ, it's almost like for some reason he does magnet heat like crazy. I don't know why or how, but if he learns how to harness that correctly, dude's going to be fucking nuts.
I've kind of started to enjoy him a little bit more than I did. And I think what he's saying and how he's wording his stuff on Twitter. I talked to you about this off day. Like, I wasn't a fan of AJ coming into GCW. I never kind of was a fan, but now I'm starting to realize, and now I'm seeing him in TNA, in other independent wrestling, and still now on Twitter being a lot more active and stuff. I think I'm seeing a lot more of him and seeing now his actual personality, not just his character as he was kind of always in WWE, but then his, like, you never saw him on TV. So that's why I think I'm starting to come around him because I'm seeing a lot more of him and seeing way more of his personality, his in-ring work. And he's actually a pretty good, strong dickhead heel in every company he's been working on it. But he's playing it perfectly. And I am enjoying this run when I never thought I would want to see AJ Francis. I actually kind of been wanting to see him lately, and I think he's been doing good. I think he could
Yeah.
still come back in GCW and still do something else kind of fun with someone else other than Joey right now.
And I'm with Alan in chat there. This is just AJ without the WWE shackles on him. You know, that's a fantastic thing. That's why I love watching some of these wrestlers learn in a higher company like WWE or AEW and then do something, apply all of that they've learned down in the independents, like Joey Janela, Matt Cardona, people that have really raised raised the bar in the independent scene with what can be done. It's not just like, okay, the hot dog and handshake. Now they're getting, I don't know, 2 hot dogs, maybe some catering. Like, you know what I mean? Things have changed a little bit thanks to Cardona, and I'm sure there are many others that have been part of that process. But yeah, the AJ thing is, I think it's going to work. Man, the heat that he gets, I just, wow, impressive.
Yeah, like I think that's where I think Elijah, the former what was his name? Oh my god.
Oh, I know who you're thinking of with
Um
the guitar.
Yeah, Elias. I think he creatively without these shackles on, Mustafa Ali's killing it without these shackles on, showing a brand new kind of different character on the independent scenes. Like that's why I was saying before, when this group of talent was let go, there's going to be a lot of fun creativity, and all these people can go in the ring, and I'm excited to see. Hopefully, we get one of these matchups up. I saw Speedball get the Elias matchup on Wrestling Revolver. I was kind of disappointed in that one, but hopefully we get Elias and GCW, or Elijah and GCW. All right. Oh, you're muted again.
Damn, man. I was just going to say that every now and then Wrestling Revolver will beat GCW to a good match, and so be it. We beat them on a lot of good matches too. So back and forth we go.
Going back to this Joey match, I don't know if we said the winner or not, but
our winner is Joey Janela.
Joey Janela picks up. No, you're good. Picks up the victory over Kerry Morton. Another good showcase for Kerry Morton. I hope to see him in next year's GC in the J Cup. I think he would be a good fit next year. Even as a returning person with his young age and stuff, I think he could provide something different next year. All right. Next match of the first round, one of the ones I was really looking forward to. Jonathan Gresham against Alec Price. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know. This match didn't get enough time, in my opinion, to kind of fulfill me in this match and my high expectations. It was a quick 9-minute match. Not quick. There was a lot of action. I would just, when it ended, I was just like I just was so much wanting a lot more being told throughout that match. It was good. It was a good 9-minute match. I just wanted more. I don't know. I didn't see anything what happened. I didn't read up anything, but I just want more of these two against each other.
Very interesting. They brought in Gresham for a less than 10-minute match.
And for one match, that's what another thing that was kind of very confusing to me. I'm like, if you're gonna bring in like a Gresham, you want to use him maybe 1 or 2, 3 matches possibly, and that especially as a big name to help elevate. Even though if he's beating these competitors to advance, like to help elevate the young talent, I don't know. I was stunned by this ending.
Yeah, Price needed this match, and Gresham got him there. I think that's the best way to put it. He was showing full capabilities. He was a welcome face. Speaking of welcome back, Gresham. I said this before, I'll say it again, and I know you do it more than I do because you're a bigger fan of Gresham, but when he goes into the ring, I settle into my seat because I know we're going to have a fantastic night of wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, we know that we're going to get a story. What's up, Kev? Kev's up in chat too. Alan's story. Wow. All right, there we go.
What's up, Kevin?
Yeah, let's see here. Is there anything else? Yeah, I mean, let's see. John went for the low blow and Alec caught him for 3. I mean, it was a surprise. I'm almost like, I'm like you. I'm kind of stunned. Less than 10 minutes for a Gresham match. I mean,
and I don't hate it. I guess you could tell, like, hey, Alec wanted to do whatever he can to win in advance and in a short amount of time possible because he's going to have to wrestle for him. Like that, you could play off, and like I kind of Gresham stunned look too, and like you really did like kind of did that. Was I think that kind of made me start to like, oh, okay, I'm glad Alec won, but I don't know. I just wanted If I get Gresham, I don't want more than damn 10 minutes, especially against Alec Price, man. Like, I don't know. I agree with Alan here. He said their match was dope as hell. I loved it. I just wanted more, way more than what we got.
I
That's just me being selfish.
I'm I'm not against you. I just like Los Macisos, a lot of these people, I'm like, who is this? What is this? And you're over the moon about them. And then it eventually, they win me over. I was looking for more out of Gresham. And normally, I'm not going to lie, people may hate me for this, but I generally didn't watch him as much. And now I'm like, damn, they flew him out for that. I mean, checking into the hotel took longer than that match, So I look at things like that sometimes. But I mean, they used him in the right spot. It was for Alec Price, but I mean, another 7 to 5 minutes would have made both look so much better.
And I think it would have told Alex's Price story throughout this tournament. It would have helped him out a little bit better too, going through a battle with Gresham that was 10 or 15, 20 minutes long, other than this 9. It kind of, I don't know. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I am shocked that you bring Gresham in for a 10-minute match, but I ultimately am glad that Alec Price was the one that got that match, because that was a fun match, and I was glad to see at least them go off against each other. Just wanted more. That's all.
Our winner in this one, Alec Price. He advances to round 2.
And that was good for my bracket there, because I think I missed on the last 2 matches on my bracket as well. My bracket was busted. I'm like, oh, forget it.
Speaking of which, Alan just made a point here. If that match goes longer than 9, Gresham's going to start getting him with all the submission stuff. See, he must be a fan of Gresham also. Alec had to get his shit in as quickly as possible, and he learned from his loss last year. What a great point. I didn't
And
think
I
about that.
wish and I wish if that was like they would have explained it more that way, because like, I don't know. I think that Gresham holding him in longer than 9 minutes, like an octopus, just stretching him out for longer and longer. I think that's just
Yeah,
going to help
yeah.
get the fans even more behind Alec into the next match, and help further his story along, to get to possibly get a nice big pop if he were to win. I think it could have been, I could have just helped Alec a lot more, as in my opinion. But I, I get it. I get it. I could talk myself into Alec Price winning that quickly, is I guess what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah, he said Kev said that Gresham told off Tony Khan he doesn't play nice. Some
I don't
wrestlers
think
are
that was
like
a
that.
story either. Yeah, I
Well,
heard other
okay.
about there's multiple stories on everything like out there, but yeah.
I know he wasn't happy about a loss he was going to take, so he didn't even get real dressed up. He kind of, all I know is the on-screen stuff that, he came out wearing just basic clothes for his match, took the loss,
There was
went
no
back.
there was no build up to it. Like, he was mad, like, you're rebuilding this Ring of Honor. I am your world champion, and there was no build up. It was just, hey,
Yeah.
let's get the
Yeah.
belt off this guy and just move him off. And I think he was mad. Like, he didn't mind. Like, from what I heard, he didn't mind doing the job to Claudio. He just wanted to like make it a bigger deal for Claudio, and like for him, like that just kind of showed him, hey, they're not like, I am the champion. You bought this company knowing I'm the champion, and they're not going to like respect me. I think I wouldn't want to stay either if that's how I was going to be treated. But I don't know. That's just my opinion of everything, man. I don't think. I think a lot of these wrestlers, I think we as fans think they care a lot more about wins and losses than what really happens.
Okay, so no lie. I mean, if you ever sit down with a lot of these, the wins losses mean jack shit. I mean, maybe if you're trying to sell a championship story, these things don't mean
Yeah,
shit. And Tony
or
bringing
make it
them
make
into
sense.
yes, and Tony bringing it into AEW, I do agree to a point. However, how are you going to push a young kid? Think about it. He's got 32 losses out of 45 matches. His he looks like shit. So for you to push one of these young guys, he's going to have to get all those matches built just to break 500, and then to get a winning record. So the record may not be a good thing, because it's going to be hard for you to sell a 21-year-old guy who comes in who's just the next big thing. And as he was building his career, you handed him a ton of losses. So you can make this guy build up in less than a year without him having to win all those, to make his shit look right. Here, what I'm saying is we get very heavy on the wins and losses. That means some of the newer guys that are coming into the company with a lot of losses, it'll take them longer to get a push down the road, because their record will not reflect the push. I know that was some next level shit there, but
No, I'm a big fan of like the wins or losses and stuff like that. But I think
Me
in
too.
combat
Me too.
sports, like in boxing and MMA, like, hey, if the like an unranked person beats the number 6, even though it wasn't supposed to, like right there, even if they're on 4 losses, boom, they're jumping up right into the rankings. And like I think that's how, no matter how much you bury a person, it's all creative. You could creatively, in however long time you want, in my opinion, 3 matches, build up somebody and boom, have a now they make sense to possibly challenge for the belt. Like I think you could dig yourselves out of a lot of hole if you just be creative with your creative. In my opinion, that's my booking thing. I don't know.
Well said.
All right. Alec Price does pick up the victory over Jonathan Gresham and does advance to round 2. The next match was the Scramble 6-person match as Charles Mason, Billy Starks, Cole Radrick, Jack Cartwheel, Myron Reed, and Mr. Danger fill out the 6 people in this Scramble match for round 1. I was very interested to see where this was going because all that talent is totally different. And I think that Scramble was, I don't know, like I don't like the Scramble, but kind of being part of the J Cup either. Like that's just me nitpicking, I guess. Like I just keep it a one-on-one and just do a fun tournament one-on-one. I think the Scramble, it gives more names an opportunity, but I just like as we were talking about earlier, I think some of these names have bigger names they shouldn't be having to. This is kind of feels like, hey, this is like the 16th spot in the tournament. Who's that last person to feel like in college basketball? You got like 4 horrible teams wrestling against or playing against each other. You don't have like the top. Well, I guess nowadays you do, but you don't have like some of these top names fighting. I wish like it could have been all the young talent, the Mr. Dangers, the man like Darius, Mikowski, and all those people should have been in that Scramble, in my opinion, other than some of these big names.
So I see your point here. If it wasn't for a storyline, I'd be like, why is Jordan going up against Griffin McCoy when Jack Cartwheel is in the scramble? Billy Starks is in the scramble. Myron Reed is in the scramble. Cole Radrick's in the scramble. Charles Mason's in the scramble. The only one I think does fit the scramble is Mr. Danger here. But I'm just saying that without the
Yeah.
storyline, Griffin McCoy was in a singles match. Why some of these real, true fucking the ones that fans love, are all in one match together. Like it's just you're blowing the load all at one time kind of thing here. So, but I wanted Cole Radrick to win, and you got your way on this one. Your guy won, Myron Reed.
Yeah, I was rooting for him. I was obviously for other reasons, just to kind of tell a cool storyline through Jordan's bracket. Yeah, I got definitely what I wanted. One, I think, big talking point throughout we could talk about. Where does Charles Mason go from here?
Yeah,
He's
he
been
played
posting
up
a
that
lot
he's
of
getting a little
cryptic
pissed.
stuff. Yeah, a lot of cryptic stuff online. Them beating up Cole Radrick at the end of the match. That a possible next feud for him after Alley Catch or after Hammerstone? I don't know. Like that's
I'm into
interesting.
it.
I'm into seeing something different from Mason. We were kind of talking
Me
about
too.
seeing
Me
some
too.
different. Maybe this is like him realizing Pero's not working out for me. Holiday's going to go back to MLW. I won't be probably able to work with him as often as I want to. I need to come up with some new people to have my back, or maybe he's just maybe sheds like himself and comes out like, hey, I'm going to build myself up, like kind of like a not a self-hate kind of thing, but like a self-torture because he's a crazy animal. Like maybe realize like, hey, I've done a lot of bad. Like, let me just come out and let everybody whoop my ass, kind of be like a pariah. And like how it's like Seth Rollins was in the Survivor Series, like, here, just beat me up. I'm done. I'm no good here anymore. Like, and then maybe that will get a new Charles Mason. I don't know. I'm very interested and excited, and hopefully we get some different form of Charles Mason moving forward.
And then Alan made a great point here that I need to kind of go to. I said Mr. Danger is perfect in this scramble. He was replacing Rina Yamashita. So this scramble also had our UV champion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they announced that match at that time, schedule wise. I don't remember off the top of my head, but that would have been interesting. Yeah, UV champion in a scramble. Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That kind of like makes my point of what I was saying earlier.
I was happy that Scarlett kind of found her guts a little bit, threw Pero out from the beginning, so there was no fuckery, because sometimes I just want to see a clean match. Happy to see Billy back. I put that it was an exciting scramble with a lot of topes. I don't know if you saw, there was a spot there where it was just tope, tope, tope. over and over.
I like those little fun spots in during the scramble. You just always kind of like, oh, who's next to fly out and who's next? Like you can see them all getting lined up and ready to do their special flying move to the outside. I don't mind little spots like that in scrambles.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing what Charles Mason's going to do. Myron Reed, I'm hoping we're not seeing the last of him anytime soon. Billy, I feel is a treat that she can like come to GCW anytime.
Same.
Jack Cartwheel, I think it's only a matter of time before he gets picked up too. I consider Jack Cartwheel a treat.
He's one that I kind of had as a sleeper that I would have really loved to see win. If it wasn't like one of my top two, like him as a third would have been
Ooh,
awesome.
he would have been a great champion, especially at the JCW level. He
Yep.
could have carried that into a lot of shows. I
Yeah,
really
I
wish we
agree.
were allowed to have more belts carried on other shows. I really do.
Yeah, and that as we get near the finals, Alan brought up a good point of like our now JCW champion and what that's really going to mean for that belt and what how much exposure is that belt going to be able to provide GCW now based off its holder because of the company that they
Yeah.
work for. Yeah, that'll be a fun talk later. I don't think we announced the winner for. Oh yeah, we did. Myron Reed.
Oh,
Yeah, I like this scramble. Obviously, Myron Reed was my pick, so it delivered. Billy, you called it. Billy Starks. Anytime we get her and Nick Wayne, I consider it a treat. Thank you, Tony Khan, for that. And yeah, Mason and Billy kind of going at it kind of brought back some memories too. I was getting kind of worried, like, please don't rehash that little scene thing. But I was kind of a cool callback throughout the match.
you know, they're really doing a good job with Billy over at AEW. It's not like I'm watching it, but every time I see something, it's nice to see her with a continuous story going on. And I like that they put her in a place where she gets bullied and, you know, she's getting pushed around a little bit. And because you know that babyface turn is coming and then it's going to be such a huge pop when she goes off. It's only a matter of time.
I think she already is. I think she already turned on Ring of Honor. Yeah,
Oh,
like she was in
that's
like
how
the
much I don't know what's going on.
yeah, she did turn, and it was kind of a big pop. If I remember, I'm trying to look it up now. I believe like that match main evented Ring of Honor, if I'm not mistaken, that night, which was a kind of
Oh,
a
that's
cool
so
moment.
cool.
Yeah, Billy was able to main event a Ring of Honor. I'm kind of can't find it real fast right now, but I'll look it up here soon. All right.
You know, also Nick
Go ahead.
Wayne, when we saw Nick Wayne in Phoenix just hanging around kind of quote unquote well, on a stage slash backstage, it was nice to see him just hanging around and then boom, they had him at the okay, so what I was trying to say, holy crap, my mind is like wondering because I'm trying to read my notes. No, I'm trying to read my notes and shit, but I was like, wow, Nick Wayne's at the Phoenix show. I'm really surprised he didn't like do any work or anything, but I was just happy to see him because anytime he's still in the atmosphere, that lets me
Yeah.
know there's a chance to see him wrestle still. Holy crap.
Yeah, Billy Starks did main event that night with Athena, and yeah, almost a damn near 30-minute one. That is cool though to see Billy Starks being able to come back as well. Like I feel like well, not her specifically because she was wrestling a lot of different other promotions other than GCW, but Nick Wayne kind of feels like that was our own with him and Defy. That was kind of like his main promotions. All right, let's go into what match is this? 6,
7.
7. Yeah. Oh, I'm on the wrong night. My bad. Jesus, there we go. Match number 7. As we get a little break in the tournament action, we get the GCW Tag Team title match as Violence is Forever defends the belts against the Astronauts. I'm gonna try these names here. Here we go. Fuminori Abe and Takuya Nomura. I'm kind of close there, I think.
I think you are too.
I've
I'll go with you on this.
I've never seen an astronauts match. I'm fans.
Right.
That was crazy. They had a great weekend as well. Like to spice up the tournament, add some non-singles matches. They were great. I love the astronauts. Violence Forever. This kind of brought them back to the violence and the hard hitting action with the astronauts. And I love this match. And astronauts I wouldn't mind seeing them come back, and we are seeing them come back, which is nice during Joey Janela's spring break.
You know, I'm famously more of a lucha guy than I am Japanese wrestling style guy, but I'm with you here. These astronauts did so damn good. It's like how can you deny them? If they come back, not going to complain. As long as they keep up that hard hitting kind of style that they came with. But yeah, really good match. I definitely want a rematch. This was one of those matches where fans were pounding the ring, chanting, "Well, please come back." So that says a lot right there. I really hope that we have some more dates coming for the astronauts.
Yeah, that was a great match. I actually think the next night's match was even more incredible from them. They seem very diverse too. They're able to have a hard hitting match with Violence is Forever. They're able to switch it up to a more high speed kind of spotty match with a speedball. And yeah, astronauts, I'm here to stay. I want them to stay. They're awesome. And I am thankful that we do get to see them during collective weekend, and hopefully maybe even past that as we see some of the wrestlers overseas kind of keep on coming back.
Yeah, our best tag teams that we've ever had in GCW were the versatile ones. You know, they have to go in there, they have to know how to wrestle, they have to know how to have a death match, you know, so on and so forth. So we're fortunate here. We probably have found another tag team just as versatile in the astronauts.
Yes. Violence is Forever do pick up the victory and retain the GCW tag titles. I will be remiss if we don't go back to that scramble match real fast. The best spot of
Yeah.
that match. We totally didn't talk about Jack Cartwheel doing cartwheels in the back as Charles Mason and everyone else is beating up Cole Radrick. Like, that totally reminded me of the Chappelle show scene, like the one guy just doing the robot in the background, and you see Jack Cartwheel just doing cartwheels as Cole Radrick's getting stretched out. I loved that scene, seeing that little moment there.
Dude, I thought the video was a loop
Yeah,
because
that's
his
why.
cartwheels were so perfect.
Yep, exactly. Okay, this now will lead us into the second to last first round match as the defending Jersey J Cup champion and tournament winner Jordan Oliver defends against Griffin McCoy. Uh Glad to see Jordan back. Man, it felt like a while since we've seen him back. I was really excited.
Yeah.
Obviously, him
Yeah.
being my favorite wrestler. It was so nice seeing him get to come back. And I forgot, I believe it was during this first match. I don't want to misspeak here, but I'm kind of quickly looking. When did he get the entrance? The singer, the person that sings his entrance. Was that later on or was it the first match?
Alan, help
Oh,
us out here.
okay.
Alan's
No,
in
it's not the
chat, so
first
he knows.
match. I'm
Okay.
at the first match now, so it's not there. I thought it. Oh yeah, it is first match. Yeah, there he is.
Okay.
Joe
Okay.
like a boss is in there singing. I thought Alan called that out earlier too, but I didn't see Joe until now, just now. So yeah, he is in there. I thought that was cool. That was kind of a nice welcome back. This was like our champions, heroes welcome back to GCW, even though it's been a couple months. Dave Prazak did a good job on commentary, talking about all the good matchups he's had in the UK and all the different promotions and wrestling like man like DeReese out there and Leon Slater. I liked how they did keep us informed of what he's been doing over there. And I think the only reason they did it is because of this tournament and he's the champion, because we don't get that same kind of feedback when Rena was over there defending the belt or anything else like from any of our other champions when they leave and go overseas with belt. We don't really hear anything about it. So I do want to commend Prazak for doing a great job on commentary, keeping the fans updated on what they might have missed while Jordan's been gone with this belt for the Jersey J Cup. I just wasn't thrilled to see Griffin McCoy again get this match. I'm just done seeing Griffin and Jordan, even though it feels like it might not still be done. I think these two just need to be done. And I like Griffin. I just like, hey, you missed your first shot. You're like, I don't know, like to stop. Like he shouldn't get no more. But I'm glad he had this match to tell Jordan's story throughout this tournament. To start it off as he wrestled against one of his more current former tag team partners in Griffin McCoy.
With me and Griffin, I'm flat even. I don't have anything really mean and nasty or whatever because oh my gosh, he's in the no. I I don't see why he's in it or why a storyline should have been pushed for 6 weeks for a first round match. So I mean, things like that made no sense. And yeah, I barely remembered who he was, and I'd rather not remember who he is. Like I said, not negative. It's just I don't really
I'm the
It's
same way. Like
Griffin
I
McCoy,
kind of
guys.
thought he might have been the next breakout with Jordan during that. He's got a good look. He was pretty good in the ring. I don't like. I lately I haven't been impressed with him, and I don't know if it's his new character and it's just like totally off-putting to me. Like even in ring doesn't seem like it's up to snuff as it was when I first started watching Jordan and Young Dumb and Broke. Like Griffin might have even at some point I thought like Griffin might have been the actual breakout star instead of Jordan
Huh.
at some point just because his look and how he was. But I don't know. I think he maybe I don't know. In my opinion, I it's not hasn't been the same Griffin McCoy, and I'm not really liking this kind of new character stuff. It just seems kind of really forced and not natural. And I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
that's why
The
it's kind
whole
of
thing,
souring on it.
forced and not natural.
Yeah.
Like when you see a wrestler who's not important come out and say, "I'm important." No, you ain't.
Well, we kind of saw it too, like when Blake first started his heel run, he was kind of he was going and doing something he's not used to doing,
Yeah.
going and being in the heel, and he was just trying to he did like the corny, easy shit at the beginning, but it worked, and then it kind of turned against him. But we saw him grow his character and start doing some more heelish and different stuff for his character, and he grew into his natural heel character, and I think that's why we've been loving this run with him, as because he's more natural than when he first started it as no heart or dark heart, whatever he was when he was going against Moxley. Like that was absolutely forced, and that's what I'm getting from Griffin right now. Too, yeah, exactly what Alan said. I'm so tired of this top guy shit. Like he tweeted the other day, like something. I'm like, what are you talking for? You've lost 3 times against Jordan. What are you talking about him about losing against the final? Like, shut up. Like, I know it's like you're in character and doing the story, but fuck top guy, dude. Like you haven't won a match in how long? Like, I don't know. It's just so like unfitting and not natural right now for me for Griffin, and I hope he kind of finds himself in, because I think he could be a badass heel and be up there and being pushed in JCW, just not at the moment.
I mean, for me, it's like Griffin McCoy, just please stop. Put someone else in that position. What's up,
I'm the
Bizard?
same
He's
way.
here. Happy Thursday.
Hey, what's
Yeah,
up,
I
Biz?
mean, like I
Yes.
said, nothing truly bad, but at the same time, it's like just put someone else in that position because I don't, I don't. I'd like to just see someone else. That's all.
And as Alan said, like Griffin still said he's going to get payback, and I'm like, please don't. Like it
Please no.
should be done. Like I will let you have this match just because it was for Jordan's story for the tournament. You fit in perfectly. Other than that, no more, please. Go build yourself up against Amanders. Go build yourself up against Charlie Tiger and Young Dumb. Like start doing something there. Then like build him up to be the next top guy instead of just throwing him in there when he wasn't even the top guy in his own fucking group. Sorry, that's just my thing. I can't, like that just didn't make any sense to me. But he did his role in this match, I think, to be the absolute bad guy and to get the crowd to absolutely love Jordan even more in his welcome return match. And I think Griffin did a good job during this match to do that role.
Yeah, Jordan won this with a low blow. How un-Jordan like.
Hey, it's a new finisher, especially against Griffin McCoy after everything I just said. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like that one was kind of like a little bit shocking too. I was like, has he been hanging with Nick Wayne a little bit too much now with the Father Christian over there? But I liked it. It was kind of like Jordan, I'm fucking tired of your shit. Boom, get out of here. I'm done with you. Kind of thing. Like I don't care if I just low blowed you. I enjoyed that even though it was so uncharacteristic of him.
Oh man, oh man. I'm
right.
having a breather here for a second. I just saw Bizard come in, so I'm kind of seeing what he had too. Actually, this is
Nice,
something between
Biz.
he and I, but he's been working really hard to get a good job. So he's just basically telling us that he's on the next step to a good thing. So good shit, Bizard. Another listener who's happy and getting his shit together, man. Good stuff. It takes time.
Yeah,
No, it does.
we were talking about that. Good for you, Biz. Good. That's awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so main event night 1, round 1, I guess I should say, of Jersey J Cup, and I am glad it. Oh, jeez, I keep clicking on the wrong one. I keep clicking on night 2 on accident, and I'm like, wait, that's not the match. Just kidding. I am right here. The Great Sasuke goes against Mike Bailey. I should say returning to GCW to go against Speedball Bailey. Though, if there's one person I wanted to see Sasuke go against, it's Speedball. Not shocked it's the main event. I was kind of glad it got the main event. I was interested to see how long it would go based off of kind of how we've seen as we're talking about 15 minutes. I
Yeah.
thought maybe that would have been like the comfort zone for a good, great Sasuke match, especially at, I think they said his age of 53 or maybe even older. I can't remember what I read, but this match, great Sasuke stepped it up and delivered a 28-minute match, damn near 28-minute match with
Yeah.
Speedball. Wow. Sasuke doesn't look like he lost a step. Like, I mean, he is moving slower, but it's more with a purpose of what he's going to do. He's not as high flying as he was, but I think now what he's moving is more purposeful and like kind of like the cerebral assassin. Like my move is what I'm glad to do is for a purpose, and him and Speedball like
Muta.
clicked.
It's
Yes,
Muta, that step. Everyone has a calculation. The great Muta.
yeah, that's as we saw, like Great Muda back in the day was flying with the kicks and going all over the place. But as he got older, slowed it down, still delivered the kicks. Might not have been as fast as they were, but probably even more powerful, more well placed because he's more veteran. But like, yeah, I love that kind of stuff for the aging veteran. But Sasuke balled out. He went for a front flip on Speedball, and at the very last second, I love whoever caught the video of that. Like it was such perfect timing. At the very last very last second, Speedball moved out of the way and Sasuke went flying through the top rope onto a chair, and he went all out for this match, and I'm so cool. It was so cool to see him do that.
Yeah, Sasuke, 34 years in the industry, 54 years old. Wow. I didn't know what to expect, honestly. I know that the whole circular story here was that he participated in the first JCW, the Jersey J Cup. Sorry, Jersey. So, I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect a 30-minute match. And I did not expect, I'll just go ahead, Great Sasuke as the winner in this one. Had no idea. They told a fantastic story. There was a spot where Sasuke came off the top rope and pretty much put his body through a chair, which I think that was, it was this
Yeah,
match.
that was a spot. Yeah,
Oh man. Beautiful show though, overall, and this really did kind of put the cherry on top of a very strong wrestling night.
yeah. I this was another Speedball. Like I know we talk about all Sasuke there, but that's Speedball. Like he's just so good. He could have a match against Yoshiiku. That's a fucking classic in my opinion. I'd love that match, but this I after this match, uh, I was even more thinking how we talk about the title, the next champion. Speedball is like the perfect representative of what independent wrestling is. He wants to have these crazy matches that are not just always in the ring. He loves like the DDT style. Like that's one thing I'm starting to get involved too. Like I love the DDT, the wrestling on trains and in the track and field in the park. They're just wrestling fucking everywhere, and I just love it. Like that's what Speedball loves. Like he just loves independent wrestling. I think him as champion, and if you kind of let him pick his story for a few months and the matchups and the what kind of how it's going to run, I think that would just jump GCW, like bring something innovative and bring something new to the table that Speedball can provide. And I think like the hardest isn't on him, like we were talking about the leash or the WWE leash on AJ. Like I don't think there's any really leashes on Speedball, but I think if you just like literally carry this company, run it, I think he could do a lot of fun, intriguing, and entertaining matchups as champion. And this match with Sasuke just showed all that. In my opinion, Speedball had another classic match against a veteran, and like I said, I didn't think Sasuke would hold up, but Sasuke delivered. Like I'm so glad he put his body on the line for us for that match.
Yeah, same thing. You bring in Speedball for like one match. I'm like, no, it's Speedball. He carried so late into the event last year. Also, before I forget, with Jordan, if he would have picked up this win, he would have been JCW for a full year. He had the title for 364 days. So
That was
he
kind of like
just
a
got it.
little thing too. That was like, oh, it could have just been it. But I'm fine with what partially fine of what happened at the end of this tournament. But We were kind of saying last time we were thinking maybe Sasuke might lose round 1 to Speedball, but then he might be the surprise challenger for Blake Christian. So this I don't think we did say the winner, but Sasuke did pick up the victory over Speedball and advanced to round 2, which in my opinion was a shock. But I was glad to see it, and I was like, that kind of goes. You're not going to pay Sasuke for one match to come over here to do that. So I was glad to see him to move on tonight too, but surprised and kind of interested because I forgot who his match 2 first round or second round matchup was against Nick Wayne. So that was a cool like little thing too that happened during their match. But Sasuke showing out, like I'm all for like this is what I want these veterans to do. You're gonna show up GCW, put yourself in GCW, show up for a couple shows, go out there and give it your all for the fans. And we don't get that all the time from these veterans, but when it does happen, we definitely notice it, and we're always so appreciative of it. And yeah, great Sasuke, thank you for balling out on JCW night 1 with Speedball.
I always say that you're on our stage. You bring in an ECW original or whatever, we know what you're coming with, but you're on our stage. Whether you like it or not, the fans are part of the show at GCW. We don't just sit around and watch and politely clap. We can change the storyline sometimes. Sometimes a heel will go in and walk out a fucking face. Like, it can just happen. But I do know that we do show gratitude. So that's one thing I know GCW fans really do well. So I love seeing someone come in and take on our stage. Also, gosh, I was going to mention something else here because cage match. This lets me know that the internet's a little crazy. What do you think was the lowest rated match of the night, according to the fans on Cage Match?
I'm not looking. I saw the actual show was rated low, which was
Surprising.
that low was surprising to me. I thought it was like, hey, I thought maybe last year was a 10. I would say maybe this year so far, especially night 1, 8.5. Actually, night 1 probably a 9. I was at a 9. Like I was saying earlier, it wasn't as good as last year, but I don't want to say it was like so bad. Like I thought it was good, but the worst match, like you want me to say the number, or what do I think the worst match on that one was?
What do you think would be the one that's the lowest rated match on this show?
First night 1.
According to the Cage Match people.
I'm gonna probably say they probably picked the scramble.
The main event. Sasuke versus Mike Bailey was considered the worst match on the show. No shit. The best match
I'm
on
glad
the
I
show.
don't pay attention to the ratings.
Exactly.
I just use it to look up information and title holders and dates and matches and card and locate. I'm so glad I don't look at the goddamn ratings. Are you kidding me?
The highest rated match on the show was Violence is Forever versus the Astronauts.
I can't hate that. Yeah, 5.3 Sasuke and Speedball. Get out of here. Yeah.
And the GCW tag team title was 7.88 based upon 42 votes, which is almost double any of the other votes matches voted on.
Oh, I don't agree. That's why I'm glad I don't look at it. That just reinforces my belief.
I had to be that asshole. I had to just say it out loud. But yeah, that was the lowest rated one. And that was a surprising 5.5. You don't even want to know what the lowest rated one on the next show is. You want to know? Oh my gosh. My boy is gone. What did you? Oh, there you are. I was lonely there for a minute. I was going to say, do you want to know what the lowest rated match on night 2 is?
Should we save that for we finish night 2?
Oh yeah.
So we don't give any spoilers.
Dude,
I do want to know that.
Place tonight.
I do want to know that information though. My fault, guys. I did leave the thing there. Hopefully, we're still on live. Looks like we still are on YouTube. Yep. Okay, good. That was scary there again.
Yeah. Sammy pulled a Billy Kidman that Bizzard said and broke Jeff Hardy's nose. Dude,
I could never see Sammy again. It'd be fine.
Sammy, okay, so Sammy is either injuring someone or getting injured. I think I may like
about
the guy,
something.
But ever since he left, what's her name? That was just the normal lady and left for what's her name? They did that all wrong, and it made him look like a dick. He goes on TV and proposes, and 2 to 3 months later, he's with someone else, and it's like, man. We're on AEW talk, but no,
I'm done with Sammy. I never liked him. Never was a fan of him. Like I was.
Pam.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
Team
his
Pam,
old wife,
bro.
yeah.
Team Pam.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No,
she probably cooks better too. No shit. I bet you she cooks better.
Yeah, I never been a fan of Sam. He's just, I don't know. I don't see. He's just a high spot. I'm moving. I'm moving
Yes.
forward.
No,
He's
no,
just a high
no,
spot for
no.
me
There's
too.
a song for that, but it's okay. I won't sing it, but yeah.
Look at all the Team Pam love here.
That's what it's about. Team Pam. Pam is a real one.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy too. But I've never been a fan
Exactly,
of
Kev.
Sammy, and I like I said, if I never saw
They
Sammy,
can't
I
cook.
wouldn't have noticed or anything.
Hot chicks are
She-
expensive,
Oh God.
and they don't cook or clean. Ugh. What is that?
uh,
Ugh.
all right. Well, that was night
That was as
one.
that was as manly and as whatever that I can make it. I'm sure I'm getting canceled by the internet tomorrow now. I'm
So
like,
we're
"I
moving
can't
on to
cook, I
night two.
can't clean." Listen to me.
All right. So yeah, night one is in the books,
Mhm.
and we will start night two. I don't think we ever said where it was from. It was the J Cup was at the White Eagle Hall in Jersey City, New Jersey. I did like the venue. I like the background that they had.
Love it.
The fans were awesome. Like the venue is cool. Like I believe it's the same place they had it last year, which was kind of cool if they kind of keep that going and building a rep there because it was a good turnout too. And the crowd was definitely hot, so I wouldn't mind seeing them get this if they keep it that hot for the J Cup.
All right, so I get to finally share the lowest rated match on Cage Match for this show was Blake Christian versus Homicide. The highest rated match on this show, Alec Price versus Joey Janela. Really? Isn't that interesting? Really?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, you have the astronauts versus John Gresham and Mike Bailey.
That was, yeah. That if I'm not going to be biased here. That was
No,
my
I
match of
lied.
the night.
I lied. They are the match of the night. I'm so sorry. Alec Price and Joey Janela was a 7.8, and astronauts John Gresham Bailey was 8.09. Man, I maybe need coffee. Wow.
All right. Night two, so round two. We start off the night with like we were saying earlier, the awesome, cool video of everything that happened night one. Great recap of people that just missed it and hopped in and get to catch night two. I loved that little part. Um, but night two starts off. Alec Price going against Joey Janela. This was kind of what I was kind of saying. I was hoping Alec Price would kind of have his bracket kind of go through, as I was rooting for him to kind of clear that right bracket to go to the finals against Jordan as well. I said that I was hoping that he would get a bunch of hardcore, hard hitting matchups against these GCW legends or veterans or regulars, whatever you want to say, and kind of get put through the ringer to kind of earn his way to the finals and the possible next J Cup tournament champion. And this match was what I was expecting. It delivered. It was hard hitting. Joey Janela did a bunch of crazy moves on Alec, and Alec just sat there and took it and looked really good selling for it. But when it was Alec's turn to shine, he definitely shined, and I think this was a strong opening match for the second round of night two.
No argument. Our winner, Alec Price. No, again, I'm a big Alec Price fan. I make it a big deal all the time. I feel bad because I'm there with a bunch of girls going, "Yeah, Alec Price," but I see a lot of really good things in him, and I see when he matures that he's hopefully going to still keep his agility, keep his speed, and develop because he does have a good. He sells struggle well, is the best way to put it. When you see him in the ring, he sells struggle very well. So I think that as the years go along, he's going to continue to learn how to make storytelling even better. And and I think that's where we're at here. I think between Janela and Price, I could have used another 5 minutes too. This could have been a 20-minute match, and I would not have complained.
I'm the same way, especially with night two. I was especially now with three matches. Now that we know night one was just one match with three matches coming up for the two finals competitors, I was wondering how the time limit matches would go through this night as well. And yeah, 15 minutes was kind of like what I thought was going to be the sweet point up until like the finals. Like I thought maybe the round two would get like 15, round three, the semifinals would get like 20 minutes, and then like the finals would get like close to 30. That's what I was kind of thinking. And Joey, like Joey was what I wish Tony was during this tournament. Joey
Hmm.
wasn't playing around. He did his little like the dance and the intro, but like after that, it was like no playing games. He was trying to win every time he didn't get the three. You just saw him like, all right, I gotta regather himself. I like Joey brought his A game. Like he was like when he's on his A game, you could tell him like I think brought the intensity tonight too to start off, and Alec Price did as well. But I think the way he treated it this tournament through this matchup and through match one was what I wish Tony would have done. I liked how it made it feel more important than kind of what I was feeling after night one.
I like how Alan mentioned here Alec versus Mikowski in the semis just to rekindle that little rivalry. Great choice. Hopefully that does happen in the next couple of shows. Fingers crossed. Maybe they do have a meet up a little bit because there is something there. And then Bizzard, Big Little Brawlers. We're all over the place tonight. I love it. Big Little Brawlers ended Monday. B, have you watched any of that yet or no? You said you haven't yet.
No,
Dude, you got to
I'm
watch.
not going
Okay.
to.
Okay. You've no?
Doesn't seem like it's for me. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. I literally watch wrestling or sports, or I'm playing video games. Like I don't really watch movies or television shows, to be honest with you.
Because this is like one of those reality type series.
Yeah, and I'm not.
It drew me in. No shit, it drew me in. I really do like it. If you've ever been back behind the scenes and you listen to the wrestlers talk, that's kind of what they cover. It's not bad. If you've heard wrestlers talk, you've heard wrestlers talk. So a lot of that goes on, and then they have all the, well, you know how artists are. They're touchy. Artists are always touchy people. So anyway, I'm like, ooh, squirrel, and then I move on to the next thing. Alec was our winner here. I don't know if I even mentioned that or not, or maybe I did a couple times, but one hell of an opener. And Alec moving on, which at this point I still had hope that everything was still the one part of my bracket that was important, the Alec part was still living on at this point.
Yeah, I was the same way. I was kind of glad that Alec did. This was the one I thought, well, this match or obviously his next one was the one I was kind of scared on because I could see Joey possibly going a little bit further in this tournament just to kind of help elevate whoever he was going to wrestle in the finals to have one of those crazy viral moments or matches that kind of make that new person, that his opponent, the new star for the company. And he did a great job of elevating Alec Price to this match, and Alec Price delivered. I think Alec Price too. These are smaller rings. I think those rings are perfect for him. Like just like the size, those aren't the full 20 by 20s, or those are like a little bit smaller. Like, and I think those rings are perfect. It shows off his athleticism a little bit more than the bigger rings do because his body's so lengthy and long. He takes up so much space in that ring, in a small ring. I think it looks good visually for him and kind of makes him a little bit bigger than what he is as a wrestler.
What do you got on your TV back there, B? Bizzard's one.
My son's playing Dragon Ball Z.
There you go.
Instead of banging on the keyboard, how we did a couple times.
No, I get it. Smart. You fix that problem, huh?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Alec Price does move on to the semifinals. Next matchup was Matt Mikowski going against Masha Slamovich. I was excited once I realized that this was the second round matchup for these two. Another perfect stylistic matchup, I think, for Matt Mikowski. As we were saying earlier, Masha matches up with anybody, and I think Matt Mikowski she was able to show a different style of wrestling. She was able to more go to her judo and her wrestling and like the groundwork and her submissions like this. And that is my favorite. And the striking, like that's my favorite Masha. Like when she's able to just strike and roll and do everything on the ground, like MMA style Masha, this was perfect. And Mikowski brought it out of her. This was a good matchup. Nice, strong matchup for both competitors again. And I was thoroughly happy and impressed with this matchup.
It was a real wrestling match. I don't have a better way to say it. There weren't chairs flying everywhere. There wasn't a bunch of bullshit going on. They got in the ring and you watched two technical wrestlers go at it. My notes would be crap in this one. It's really hard to say. It's just the dance was beautiful. I wish I had more.
I love the ending too of Mikowski going for the spear and Masha once again locking him up in in the choke and choking him out. I thought that was cool. Like they told a good story, like for like that was like kind of Gresham style, like wrestling of telling the
Yeah.
story through moves and holds and struggles and reversals and stuff. I love this match. It once again brought something different to this tournament, stylistically.
Masha and Gresham needs to happen because right now,
That's a good one. I didn't think about that one.
well, Masha's on that trajectory. I don't know if you noticed, but ever since the PWI numbers came out, her wrestling quality in her matches have been shooting up. And I think that she's shooting for more of a Gresham style match now. I think she's ready to start like showing off her craft. I don't have a better way to put it really, but yeah, her matches have been more wrestling heavy recently than before. She's not swinging as many chairs as she used to. Still happens, just not
I'm
as
about to
much.
say, yeah, but if it needs to, she's down to swing, and like that's
Oh,
what I think. That's what I've. She's shown me a lot more than when she first showed in GCW. I thought this Masha that I saw in this match, that was the one I like enjoyed watching in TNA and other indies. Like that was what I saw Masha when I first saw her, and she delivered. And but now seeing the death match Masha, the having a good match against Blake Masha, having a 40-minute match against I think it was Speedball, like she's able to adapt and do so many matches. And I'm glad she's getting the successes that she's earned because like she's able to go with anyone in any kind of match you will put her in and she will deliver.
man. What if ROH and GCW had a baby right now? Could you imagine what that would look like? Would that be the ECW that we're trying to bring back?
I think
You'd
it
have
would
that
be
wrestling. You'd have the
I think it'd be
hardcore.
the old Ring of Honor that would come back, I think.
There'd be more of that. Yeah.
That's what I think. There's some like those like the 100 not the 100 person, like the 500, 600 person venues, but the crowd just losing their shit. And you're seeing like all these moves and like we get these veterans like Sasuke coming in. Like you get the new talent. Like I could see a lot of similarities if they were able to work together. And I'm starting to see now. This kind of goes back to that deathmatch thing we'll talk about possibly at the later on in this episode. But I think I could see GCW. I feel more Ring of Honor lately, old school Ring of Honor than I do ECW.
Interesting. I'm not against it. It almost makes me want to have a gate so we can start slamming on it in the front row. Like bam, 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 bam. Remember when they do that in
I
ROH?
Oh yeah, I loved that shit. Would always hurt my hand, but those things were fucking dangerous. Do you know how sharp those edges were,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah.
I've
There's
saw
always
3 wrestlers get
oversights.
gashed by those.
There's always oversights in the independent scene. You know what I mean? That's one of them.
Yeah, I almost saw a fan get gashed by one of them. It was crazy. Like those things were sharp as shit. But yeah, those are so fun to sit in front row and just pop, pop, pop at the beginning of the shows. Yeah, and then like even not even during the like beginning or like during the hot spot, like the fans like just start clapping or stomping or just, they stand up now in GCW. Like yeah, the old Ring of Honor days, you pound on that metal, make as much noise as you can. Those were the fun days. I'll explain later why I think it's kind of. I've been feeling more Ring of Honor watching GCW as of late than GC or ECW.
Yeah, Alan kind of mentioned that somebody said that GCW isn't a deathmatch company if they're only doing one deathmatch a show, if one at all. Okay.
That is part a lot of my discussion right there was kind of that.
So part of what I will say on this end is that I do know that they go to certain states that doesn't allow glass. So that's one thing. I do know that's one part where they can't have a death match in that sense. They may be able to have different weapons, but I don't know. That's
Well,
one
here's kind of
part.
where like they're playing both. Like when they go to like these states like New York, you can't do a glass or any death match. That's when they put on a more Ring of Honor style show. Like they
Yeah.
put on these high flying crazy, like let's get these people talking. But then when they're able to do death match like in AC, they're going to give you the deathmatch GCW, the ECW GCW. And I think they've been kind of towing the line both. That's where I was kind of going to go with that whole
Let's
conversation
do it,
was
man. Let's talk.
you want let's get through the J Cup first. I want to get through that just in case.
Okay.
Like because if we run out of time tonight, we don't have any shows to cover next week. We could cover this would be a topic that we could kind of do another roundup show and just kind of put a bunch of topics together. I think this would make a good topic if we don't get to it tonight, next week as a kind of a filler show if we do one before the 23rd and 24th.
All right, that sounds good, man. Yeah, I think we announced our
Because it
winner
could
here
go
was
for a
Masha
while.
Slamovich. No, I know when I have those feelings. What you're saying is we may go deep on this one. I
Yeah,
got
and
you.
I don't think we have to. Like I said, I think this part of the J Cup, we're going to go a little bit faster as we kind of said everything we needed to say about the competitors already, and we're kind of now
Hmm.
just covering the match and results. I think this will speed up, so we might still have time to cover that conversation at the end.
Yeah, my notes. I'm just going to tell everyone publicly. My notes for this night too is trash because I was having a good time watching and I was talking with friends at the same time, so I wasn't putting my notes in my tablet or on my computer like usual. So just letting you know that now, guys.
All right. Masha Slamovich does pick up the victory over Matt Mikowski to move to the semifinals, as she will be facing the waiting Alec Price from match number one. Third matchup, the second quarterfinal matchup is the great Sasuke going against Nick Wayne. I was so happy for Nick Wayne to kind of get this match. I thought that was kind of cool of Sasuke to be able to have this match with a young Nick Wayne. I didn't know how much Nick Wayne liked Grace Sasuke and all that stuff, and seeing what all the words he said afterwards and all the things he said about Sasuke and how he was able to do a Sasuke special to the great Sasuke was a very cool thing he'll be able to say for the rest of his life. That was obviously the highlight for me in this match, but I think Wayne being able to have a good match of Sasuke, another good what was it? This one he was 13-minute match, but was
Hmm.
still able to go two nights after or the next night after a 30-minute classic with the speedball. I can't say enough about Sasuke. And yeah, Nick Wayne does get the victory in this match, and it was as Alan said, a giant win for Nick Wayne. And I thought that was
Yeah.
cool to kind of great Sasuke to kind of, hey, I remember the first J Cup tournament, and now it's my turn to give back to younger talent. And Nick Wayne being able to receive that and that matchup was awesome to see.
Could you imagine Speedball Wayne?
I was
Oh,
I was like I had a bunch of different things I was hoping for this tournament because it could have been every which way. So I was like hoping that would be a match possibly that would happen. But yeah, if that match were to happen anywhere, that would be that would be fun.
Ooh. Yeah, Speedball Wayne. That might be. Yeah, so yeah, this I almost felt like this was an upset with Nick Wayne going over Great Sasuke. Just
I
for
thought
me.
so too, but I didn't think Sasuke would be able to do another match. I was like, okay, I think this is like we got the end of the top level Sasuke. I don't think we're gonna get a match 3 from him. All right. That will lead us into the next match as Jordan Oliver once again defends the Jersey J Cup Championship, going against another former tag partner, former Injustice tag partner, Myron Reed from MLW.
Mm.
And yep, they they had a match that I was hoping that they would have. So good. They had a good match, and I think it was MLW they had against each other too before. But man, these two just as a team was awesome. And even as opponents, they click even better as opponents. I think they just gel with each other. They are both unique in how they deliver their moves. And Myron with Myron attempted the top rope cutter or the out of the ring cutter, but Jordan hitting it was awesome because that was a spot that I used to see all the time. And I was happy. This match this was my favorite match of the night. I had like 3 favorite match, obviously, but this one was up there, especially at this point of the night. Like, I was like, "Oh, they ain't gonna top this," and then later on, I get 2 more that do
Right,
top it, but
right.
at this point of the match, I'm like or night, I'm like, "Yes, this is it. Match 3, I'm good." And then I'm just excited for the finals, and, yeah, Myron Reed, Jordan delivered, and as you said earlier, I hope we do see Myron Reed a lot more in GCW based off his recent performances, and he's getting a lot of positive feedback I've seen, on Twitter as well, from other fans with his recent run. So hopefully that momentum will continue on.
I absolutely echo all the other fans and you out there that I would like to see more Myron. He does the freaking job. Him and Jordan, to me, somehow, if I close my eyes, they're very similar. I can't put my finger on it, but they just seem like similar wrestlers with similar abilities. They have similar longer arms and legs on them. I wish I could go past that, but both of them are strong as shit for their size.
I think they
I don't
both got
know.
like a quiet confidence that they're now starting to show
Mm,
that confidence
mm.
a little bit more because of their work, and they got stuff to lean up on, and now they got their work to be proud of to be that confident. And obviously both competitors, if you look about a year and a half ago of what they both kind of looked like then to what they
Mhm.
look like now too, you see the work that they put
Oh,
in the gym,
huge.
their work ethic. I think they are like two peas in a pod. They are just so similar, and I think that's why they were such a fun tag team that I loved. But I think that's why they were better competitors, because they now could stay one step ahead of each other. And that tells a cool story. And they told that story in this matchup. Myron stepped it up, and I think he's definitely cemented, hopefully, his status to be a regular in GCW. But if not, I'm glad to see him now getting bigger matches too in other companies that he's been working for. So I'm able to still see a lot more Myron Reed, which I'm happy for.
Um, I think if you're gonna take a loss in a tournament, you might as well take it to the Jersey, champion. So I think this was a fitting way to go out. You're pretty much going out on top against Jordan Oliver. And I do want to see these two meet up again. A 17.5-minute match was very solid. And yeah, run that back, boys. Let's run that one back.
And I want to say too, after these first two matchups, we've seen Jordan. In my opinion, watching as much as I have and not seeing him for these last few months, he's got a lot smoother in the ring. Like he's a lot more fluid. There's a lot less downtime. Like when he attempts that moonsault, there still is a little bit downtime that I wish it wouldn't be as much because he's trying to get his footing. But other than that, I see just a little improvement that he's earned or done in the UK in his striking and his ground game. Like he looks solid. Like it looks like he's even putting these little pieces now that were maybe out of touch on his game. He's definitely solidifying it. And I think he's putting the whole package together. And after these two matchups, I could see the growth in Jordan. I'm happy to see him still continuing to grow as a wrestler out there.
And I don't know if we named it, but yeah, I kind of did. But Jordan picked up the win in this one, and he is moving on to the semifinals.
And he will be facing another former tag partner, Nick Wayne, as we will get there
Yeah.
later. All right. Yes, my my match of the night, the tag team match. I don't even want to say cage matches. I'm done with their ratings after hearing what you told me earlier. but but we do get the tag team match, as it is the astronauts returning against Gresham and Speedball, which I love as a tag team because they're also too, even though they're stylistically completely different, they are great as a tag team, but also great as opponents, Speedball and Jonathan Gresham. So seeing them teaming up in GCW, I was excited to see that because what they did in Impact was fun. The short time they were able to do so. And the astronauts, I didn't think it would. I had expectations for this match to be kind of unique after seeing the astronauts really for the first time the night prior. I did not expect this one. Whew, I can't even explain it. This was like we talked about the match. Just go see it. Go see this one. Astronauts told a great story. Gresham and Speedball had such great chemistry as a tag team, and their tag
Mhm.
maneuvers were awesome. The astronauts with their chemistry to reverse some of these this was a fun and great tag match. And yes, my match of the whole tournament was not even a tournament match. It was the tag match.
This just makes me want a tag team tournament match or a
Even
tag team
more.
tournament even more. Even more. Some of the matchups that we could have. Fuck, put Jordan and Alec Price together for one night.
I still like the
I
wild
mean,
card, like the Battle Bowl tournaments, but do it in GCW.
get get the little balls out and pick them out
That's what
like
they
it's
do in the Battle
bingo.
Bowl. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I'm into it. I'm not against it. That's for damn sure. That's really all I have to say about this one. You kind of mentioned all of it, even the unique things that were going on in it. More astronauts. That's it.
I liked even too when Speedball and Gresham messed up, like when they kind of did get their wires crossed, like it would catastrophically backfire in the worst way, and like you just see Gresham kind of looking at Speedball like, "What the hell? Why'd you do that?" Like when I think he kicked him, I think he kicked the opponent, which made him fall back, but he had one of the like Speedball or Gresham in like a leg lock, and when he fell back, it just put more pressure on Gresham's knee. I just love little tidbits like that, like. I enjoy everything Speedball and Gresham always do, and the astronauts were perfect opponents to go against this tag team. And this was a fun match. Please go check it out. It's unique but fun and entertaining.
And we may have some new favorites in the astronauts at GCW. So you might as well start checking them out now because they're
Mhm.
hitting with all the fans.
And after this match, they did, and after this weekend, they did announce that we will see the astronauts, I believe, at the collective weekend. Um, I want to say they're even going against each other at Bloodsport, if I'm not mistaken. That's what their match was announced. Like they're going against each other at Bloodsport. I could be wrong with that, but I will double check that. But I do believe we get them at some point during collective, and I'm excited for it. All right. That will lead us into our first semifinal match as Masha
Mm-hmm.
Slamovich goes against Alec Price. Another good match from both of them. This one,
Solid.
yeah. Alec had to do a little bit more striking in this match. Masha had to do a little bit more catching Alec Price off guard and flying around the ring. Uh Okay, yeah. So Alan, I was right. Yeah, they're fighting against each other at Bloodsport and then wrestling as a tag team at the Collective, the Astronauts. So yeah,
Mm.
that's gonna be fun. But yeah, Alec Price, Masha, it was a good match. I was kind of surprised for a semifinal how short it was, but then I was expecting, okay, maybe the semis will be short, but then the finals will be long. And not too happy with the winner though. So before I kind of go over all that stuff, I'll let you go and your thoughts on that match.
um. Okay.
A lot
Yeah.
of tears cried after this match.
A lot of boos from the crowd. Did you hear
Yeah,
that on?
that's it.
Yeah. It really sucks to build something and then the fans get their hopes all together and then crush. So I hope that over time, yeah, see, Alan cried too. See, we should have had a support group running at that time. Um, it shook a lot of people because I'm like, okay, here we go. It's Masha time. I kind of had a feeling that was what was going on because I couldn't figure another reason. But she just had a title, so I'm trying to figure out the importance of having another lower title, nonetheless. So I'm trying to understand: are we getting beaten up here? I don't know. I don't know. I'm open to another title reign, but I'm kind of curious what's in this one that we didn't see in the World Championship reign. But we're going to have the same competitors. We're going to have the same challengers. I mean, unless she goes down to JCW and rocks it all the time. Possibly.
Yeah. I'll give my thoughts after we get the finals on that. I'll do it now. Should I do it now or finals? What do you want?
I
My
don't
thoughts
mind.
on Masha.
Well, oh boy.
I don't want to skip. I don't want to skip. I don't know. I mean, we kind
No,
of
no,
have
no.
said a
Go
lot
for it, brother.
anyway.
Let's do it.
I just kind of okay. Uh, yeah. I don't know why Masha won. I after all the praise I gave her, I've said she's done awesome and everything. I go back to kind of what you just said. She just was the GCW World Title holder. She doesn't need the JCW title. Like, yes, it was like a few months ago, 6 or 8 months. I think it's been Blake's been champion. That's kind of crazy to think about. It's almost been a year already too. But it kind of does feel like it was just not that long ago that Masha was the champion. And I just think it's too soon. Number one. Number two, like as I thought the whole point of this tournament was to build new talent, showcase new talent, give this new talent a belt and have them go represent your company around the world as a young talent, building a name, building the prestige of the J Cup, just like how Jordan's been. Like that was my whole thing. Jordan's been champ for almost a year and he's done a lot of good things with that belt. Who's going to fill that spot? And uh I don't, Masha, I don't think, for me, no way should she have won. I would have preferred almost pretty much on this tournament, almost any other name other than Masha. Like we would have had a fresh champion, a new face to build around and start building momentum to. I know they keep JCW and GCW. So Brett says he keeps it separately. They book two different shows there, but yet it bleeds into together in GC. Like that's another thing. I don't like the inconsistency on that. But she doesn't need the belt. She was just world champion. You're now going to have that face, as you said, wrestling on JCW. But then what's going to happen? GCW. What's going to happen with her? Is she going to go travel like how Jordan's been doing with the belt? Is she going to keep building that prestige, or is she just going to now wrestle against kind of the same names we've been seeing her wrestle with just now for the same different belts? Like I don't like it. It doesn't bring anything new to me. I thought a new face, a new champion would bring new opponents, new feuds, new stories, newness for JCW. I felt this was a step back for the belts other than name value. Okay, I will give you name value. Masha's a good name to hold that belt. But as Alan said earlier, you're going to have her travel to this company, to that company, to this company, that company. Are you ever going to see that belt anywhere outside of GCW? Because she doesn't wrestle for a lot of other companies nowadays outside of GCW. If I could be completely wrong, but like from what I see on independent wrestling, I don't see, like, I'm going to look at her cage match right now. I see GCW, Impact, and Revolver. Like, Revolver's not going to let a GCW champion take that belt over there. So you're not going to see it on that show. Like, I just don't see where this was to build a champion. This was, let's settle on a name that's a bigger name maybe than Jordan that could represent. And I think, and this tweet kind of upset me too, like, she's the first JCW champion women, first women's GCW champion, first this, first that in GCW, but where's all the love for like Alley Catch? So been there since day one. Like, she should, if we're gonna do women, she should be the one kind of getting all those accolades and stuff like that, in my opinion. Like, Masha's earned it. I think she ultimately is the bigger and better wrestler than Ali. But for someone who's busted their ass, and not saying Masha did, Masha busted her ass all the time as the champion and wrestles, and she does wrestle quite often in GCW. So that I'm kind of hopeful for, to see a lot more title defenses with that JCW title. But I just don't see any new opponents that's going to make me excited to see her defend this belt.
So what you're saying is primarily we've seen it before, and you're not really sure if we're going to see anything different or new. I like your point about Allie. If there's going to be a first woman in a lot of this stuff, I figure Allie would be the one that should be in that position. Um, nothing against Masha. So what I'm going to say here is that I'm going to stay open to what they may do with the belt. I just don't know what's going to be done that's different. So I think I may be a little more. I know I'll know a little bit more when I see a little bit more, but I'm kind of curious where this does go from here, why and how, and who asked for it. See, you go blank there for a second. Who asked for this?
Well, my thing too is, I think they, after match, I hate to say that. I don't know. I'm saying it. I think after match one, the JCW title was lost its identity, like being that hardcore of a match with Manson Warner, and like that right there. They had something different. This whole tournament, no fuckery was involved in the first tournament. It was just built in the ring. Everything was in the ring. And your first title defense, you just fucking throw tables, chairs, blood everywhere. Like, I don't buy the blood. Like, it just took away everything that I thought the JCW title would be. So I think, like, right there, it lost its identity. And it still doesn't really have one, other than Jordan's been defending it a lot more overseas and in JCW and all over against different talent, which I enjoy. But like, I just wish it would have kept a separate identity to make it more prestigious or a little bit more different than what we are seeing from it now. Like, it, as we talked about last time, the redundancy of the extreme, the ultra violent, like when all the matches could intertwine and it doesn't really fucking matter, then what's the point of having the different belt if it doesn't matter? Like, I don't know. Like, I think they should have done something. They still can, just like make it new rules. Like, hey, like, no, this is the wrestling only belt, no fuckery, no none of that stuff. If you do, you're disqualified. Like, kind of bring it like an old school feel to this belt to make it stand apart and make it feel different and get some other fans to buy into something that's new and different, other than the same old shit with a different title.
Yeah, the first couple title defenses that Jordan had were some pretty good freaking title defenses. And yeah, it kicked off with Mance. And what a hell of a match that was.
They were all awesome matches. I just think it lost its identity. Like, right there, I'm like, oh, don't do this to that. Like, literally, I sunk in my chair when I saw the doors and everything brought out. I'm like, no, I thought this was going to be different. It's like, I don't know. That's just my whole thing with it. Just now with Masha, there's nothing different about this title or anything that gets me excited.
Well, okay, here we go. His first title defense, Jordan's first title defense, Mance Warner. Then Alex Coughlin, Blake Christian, Shigehiro Irie, Cole Radrick, and then here we go. Sandra Moon, Bam Sullivan, MBM, there's Commander, Carl Jepsen, Tarzan Duran, Griffin McCoy. You see what I'm saying? Where it just goes blue real quick.
Now,
And the
here you go. You're gonna Masha's first title defense. Hope you're excited to see Masha versus Griffin McCoy.
why?
That's what
No,
I'm
no,
saying.
no.
Like,
I
I'm not
mean,
excited to see Masha
why?
versus Griffin. I'm not excited to see Masha versus like some of these other JCW, like more people that we see on JCW than GCW. Like, I'm just not excited. Like, I think this is also a step back for her, other than now she could say she's the first JCW women's winner. I like that's it. Like, that was the whole like
If that's the whole
what
point,
was the
what a
other point of
shitty
the
reason.
tournament? That's that for me. Like, what was the other point of having her? Like, I know it had, and I'm shitting on something that hasn't happened yet, and then that's not fair of me. But
Well,
you've
that's why I
also
said I'm
given
going to
you,
hold off a
but you've
couple
given
months.
me
Just
nothing to be excited for. Even like, I don't know. I don't know. I think Alec could have continued Jordan's legacy for that belt, wrestling all over the place, defending it, and having banger matches and making it feel different. Where Masha's just going to be like, how you said, the old GCW champion.
Alec would have gained more. He probably would have maybe even done more with it. Masha doesn't need that belt. She's too big for that belt.
The only thing she gained is that accolade of being the first women's champion or JCW women's champion and first tournament winner.
So my thing is let's just say then that we do want more wrestling and a more serious belt.
Also,
She could bring that. She could bring that
yes,
very much.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
yeah,
They could still do that. Still, that could always just be, hey, fuck it, we're going to do something different with this belt. That could be done anytime, any place, and then I would be excited to see now Masha having to stay within the confines of the rules and certain rules and not having to, like, how normally she has to dig down deep and go crazy to defeat the bigger opponents that she's been doing. And I don't know. That was just my thing of the whole tournament. It just kind of took the wind out of my, like, once I saw Mosh in the finals, I was hoping Jordan would win again. And honestly, I wasn't even hoping for Jordan to be a back-to-back champion. I was hoping for Alec Price, a new worthy champion that will continue what Jordan did over this last year for that belt. And I know we haven't seen any title defenses or don't know what's going to happen yet, but I am not really excited to see what this is going to be worse than Masha being the GCW champion, in my opinion. Like, I loved everything she did as JCW or GCW champion, but now, like, you're not going to be facing those top GCW names. You're going to be facing other names that I think it's a step down for her as a former world champion that soon. Like, she didn't need to do this as soon. If this was 2 or 3 years and she hasn't had a belt, and then give her another belt, and that makes sense. Fine. Now she's renewed and reinvigorated. It makes sense, and she waited for it.
I nothing against her. We could have used something fresh.
That's my whole thing. I just praised her all this time. Fresh. This is nothing on her, nothing on her as wrestler. Just booking wise, it feels like a settlement instead of a improvement or freshness or renewed or reinvigorated. It just felt like a complacency kind of pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe it's time to start watching the merch lines a little closer. No shit. I'm just saying, if we watch the merch lines a little closer, you'd be surprised with who's getting pushed versus who's, got people actually wanting to get autographs.
Yeah. All right. Well, that will lead us into the next semifinal match. Jordan Oliver against Nick Wayne. Obviously, many, many things going into talk about in that match, but they kind of told it all in the ring. They showed the respect. They each had each other's numbers, a lot of counters, a lot of reversals, and then a lot of different variations to get into their signature moves, which I enjoyed. And it kind of was a little repeat of the Myron Reed of knowing your opponent so good and trying to find different ways to get in what you need to get in. That was what I saw in this match. And Nick Wayne is confident. The AEW and the confidence that he's been showing there has been awesome to see. And also seeing him smile and still enjoy and having fun and
not missing teeth. Not chipping his fucking teeth on national TV.
I see. I like how he still doesn't take himself above, like, especially when he first came out. Like, as we said, the first match, like, he came out, I thought he had that look in his face, and then no, he can't hold that smile. Even on TV, you could break Nick Wayne still easily. He's still got that little kid in him that's enjoying everything and probably still like, I'm in the ring with Sting and Christian and Edge. Like, what is going on national TV? I love seeing the little the little kid in him.
And Alan just mentioned what I was getting ready to mention, Wayne with the kill switch.
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah,
I love that part.
perfect story told by both. It's exactly how two friends should meet in the ring. They were given 21 minutes to do so, and I thought it was fantastic. I'd love to see it again. I don't have higher praise for it. It was a fantastic match. So
Yeah, and
bland, so vanilla, I know, but it was just a great match, man. I'll watch it again anytime.
I think if Wayne would have beat Jordan with the kill switch, that would have got a pretty big pop from the
Oh,
crowd there.
oh yeah.
So I was happy with a quarter of the tournament. I got every result I wanted. I got Jordan going through all his old teammates and having the story and defending the belt. I definitely enjoyed Jordan's run throughout this whole tournament, and a pleasure to have him back. And can't wait till we get him back full time. And now that the belt's off him, I hope he pushes Blake. I don't know. I hope he doesn't come back and do. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with Jordan when he comes back. Now that he's not the champion, I hope he doesn't fall into fucking scrambles. I hope he doesn't fall into just wrestling the top local talent wherever they're at. I want to see a purpose and a story for him because he's definitely earned it, and there's obviously a lot that they could do with him, and especially with now him not having that JCW title, insert him into some other title situations would be fun.
Alan's asking if Jordan will stay in Europe. He may.
We will see. Will see.
He may. He may.
Yeah.
I know that he has plans to be over there, maybe be in Japan for a little bit, and
yeah, he does. He is going to Japan here for a little bit,
and he has home in the United States. So, go work where that money is. If he's seeing good money and success, I mean, if that swimming pond has him being a very large fish, what's wrong with getting that paycheck and being happy over there in jolly old England, France? The freaking, I'm trying to think of his name, the Angel, badass wrestler out of France. No, badass wrestler out of France. The White Eagle or something like that. I know French and I can't think of his name right now. It translates to something like the White Eagle or the White, it doesn't matter, White Falcon. But he's a French wrestler, and Jordan took him on a couple weeks ago. It was belt versus belt. Jordan put up his belt against this guy. That's him.
Robbie Eagles.
That's it.
Was it Robbie Eagles? That's who it was. I don't think he's
No, this is a French dude. Like you would,
it's
definitely not.
I was about to say I don't think Robbie Eagles French. So okay,
no, it's like Robbie. No, I don't. What was I going to tell you about this match here?
Well, while you're doing that, I saw Jordan had a match or either I think it's recently from TNT. This is definitely up my alley. Jordan going against Mao, Leon Slater, and Yoshi Iku. The Merseyside Massacre. I want to check that match out. That has me written all over it.
Oh my goodness. What a fucking matchup that is.
That has me written all over it. Mao going crazy, Yoshi Iku, Leon, Jordan. That has me.
And then for Jordan, the only thing left is the World Championship. He's not going to go do it. He's not going to go do a UV. He's not going to, he's done the tag. He's done JCW.
And hey, he's a fresh name now that we haven't seen in a while, and maybe the fans will be happy that he's back. He can get that nice, easy, quick pop and get inserted into there. I mean, that matchup would make a lot of sense too. I think Blake and Jordan. Well, I think Blake's got a lot on his plate right now.
Well, maybe Masha's going to Japan or Europe, and maybe they're having their title holder go over there to promote the company. There are reasons for everything. It's just as fans, we're not excited, but maybe there's a reason.
I gotta look up TJPW when Rena wrestled Maki Ito. If Rena was allowed to bring the belt out on the TJPW shows, because I know Masha does a little bit with them, or has just recently just did some work with them. I saw so that's my. I don't know. I don't want to go back to that thing, but I don't know. I guess I should wait and see. I'm jumping to conclusions. I'm already just making this. I always bite myself in the ass when I do this.
No, I know what's going on. The title, the defenses that she had with the World Championship sometimes were underwhelming. So what we don't want is another underwhelming championship run. I think,
especially from a brand new belt. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if we did. We did. I don't think we did say the match, but Jordan does pick up the victory over Nick Wayne. Yeah, I'm just watching Nick Wayne's facial reactions now after he hit that kill switch, and he's so mad, sitting in the corner, unwrapping, like, what the fuck do I gotta do? Nick, that's the growth in Nick, though. That's something we haven't really seen in Nick. Nick's usually go, 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 not kind of like assess the situation and react. So it's kind of nice to see him slow it down for his benefit as a heel.
And I'm seeing what Alan says here. He says the idea of someone being underwhelming varies from person to person. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep.
I was underwhelmed though. So that's, I mean, her title run had a couple good things in it, but I also saw where there were times where she was having a challenge picking up a larger man. And I get that, but it's like, you're the world champion. You gotta be superwoman, Superman. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, I really thought, okay, here's what I'm not sour. It's just I think that the first championship, the first women's GCW World Championship should have went to Allie because she's put in a lot more work. I believe she's been there longer. I believe she's more of a favorite with the fans. Um, you know, I don't know.
No,
I'm trying to give myself enough rope to hang here, but it's like I don't know. I just
we'll wait and see, as you said. I think you had the best. You have the best thing. Let's wait and see, because usually, like
yeah.
I said, every time I bitch and complain and I jump to conclusions, I usually the next podcast or two have to come back and say I
Yeah.
was wrong. I should have gave it time and shouldn't have jumped to it. Like I'm just like, you know me. I do my booking in the moment and book for the next 5 months, and I'm like, there's nothing exciting. Like I'm looking at the JCW. I'm like the last event that JCW had. I'm looking at like the what the show was, and it's just like I don't want to see Masha versus Yoya. I don't want to see Masha
Nope.
versus Janai Kai. I don't want to see
Nope.
Masha versus a Mr. Danger. Like for the just for the belt. Like I'm saying, I would love to see all these matches, just not for the belt. And I nothing excites me in my closed, narrow-minded thinking of what's coming up for future JCW title defenses for Masha. But we will wait and see. All right. Next one we have the 12 person. Oh, I think no, this isn't when they. Maybe this is the match where they get Cole Radjic in the background. Yeah, this is the match
Yeah.
like Jack
Yeah.
Cartwheel's doing the cartwheels. So yeah, we get a 12-person tag matches. It's pretty much everyone from the J Cup. Team one is Alley Catch, Cole Radjic. Let's throw in Los Macizos in there, by the way. Man like Derice and Mr. Danger going against the team of Charles Mason, Griffin McCoy, Jack Cartwheel, Broski, Jimmy Lloyd, Kerry Morton, and Tony Deppen. Um, this was just one of those matches. Hey, they're here. We got to kill some
Yeah.
time and give them a thing and go have an entertaining, fun match. And that's what it was. I like that was the spot we messed up that spot earlier, but it was definitely. I agree. It was fun. It definitely was a nice change of pace and added a little bit, took away a little bit from the seriousness that we just got from Jordan and Nick. Add a little bit more light to the show until it goes into the next couple matches. I think it was perfectly booked to make the fans happy and kind of get them kind of a little bit calmed down to heading into the next couple matches. Oh,
16
yeah,
and
and
a
then
half minutes. Oh, what's up?
no, Alan with the stunner from Scarlet. I think Gabe called that on the last podcast that we did. I haven't gone back and looked because I don't know exactly when he would have said it, but I'm pretty sure on the last podcast, Gabe said he hopes Scarlett stuns Charles Mason and it gets a giant pop, and it fucking happened, and it did, and it was awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. Like Mason is good though when he does get his comeuppance of making it look very good, but then as we were talking about him kind of sulking afterwards and thinking in the corner, what the hell's next? I'm intrigued. I'm happy and waiting to see what's going to happen next.
No. um, yeah. 16 and a half minutes, more than enough time for all of our favorites to get into the ring and have a little fun together. Chaos, I'm with you there. We kind of talked about the one thing that I really liked, which is the cartwheels as they were fucking with Cole. Yeah, Mason, yeah, he's playing that he has a real crisis coming on. And anytime Mason has a crisis, it usually means he's going to just unlock another dimension of evil, so to speak. I would love to see him turn into a good guy for one thing. Just be like, I'm so sorry for everything I've done, da 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 da, and then just to fuck somebody over and be a bad guy again. I just want to see it happen.
Well, that's kind of what I was leaning to earlier when I was saying like Charles Mason maybe comes back and acts like that martyr. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen, have you seen him wrestle in wrestling gear? How completely different he looks? Or no? Have you only seen him? He's wrestled in wrestling gear and it's like yellow and like blue and purple and they're like shorts. It is a different Charles Mason. Like, I could see him coming back as like that old school, like, let's get rid of the evilness and let's just go back to winning and beating people up in the ring and wrestling. I could see him kind of doing a comeback of let's go back to our roots instead of trying to be this person that I obviously turned into because I'm greedy and want all the money. I think now like it would be cool. I really love him as a heel. I actually don't want him to go to space, but this could be another avenue if they want to kind of go that way. Have you seen, you're looking at the pictures now?
Yeah, I'm trying to find one
Totally
right
different.
now.
Oh, you never found one? Okay, I'll try.
No,
I'll find
I'm
one.
looking. I'm looking, but it's like I do see one where he's in like he's okay, I do. I have one here, Charles Mason versus Everett Connors. GCW.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say one of those first matches that they started off. Yeah, he was wearing not the suit and stuff.
How freaking cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it's so funny that it just never dawned on me he might actually have real gear. And how dangerous it is to not have knee pads or elbow pads. You know what I mean? That can be a little funky at times.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. The good guys won.
Oh, I forgot about the man like Darius just holding Pero for like 10 seconds. Holy shit. Oh, and then it did the world's strongest slam.
Kev
damn,
says,
man, like Darius,
Kev
man.
says screen share. Are you able to pull it in screen share or is it?
Send me the link on Twitter and then I can pull it up.
Let me see here real quick. Up, found it. Give me a moment. Yeah, this is definitely the match. Everett, I see a wrestler with purple hair.
Yeah, I just once you said Everett Connors, I was like, oh yeah, that is the match that I think that is like the only match I've seen him in. I think maybe I've seen him in House of Glory with regular ring gear.
There's the link. I just send it to you on Twitter.
All right, let's see here.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, and actually we're doing okay on time right now too, because I knew part 2 was going to be a little quicker. Or night 2 was going to be quicker for us.
Okay, oh yeah, so he's stripping down here.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'll pull it up real fast. Yeah, it is a sight to see here, Kev. So give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up.
It's different.
Okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's load it up here.
Vikingo and House of Glory. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, he's in a couple House of Glories, I think. But yeah, there's Mason and ring gear. Interesting. Different.
Knee pads and everything. He looks like somebody that would be with MJF. You know what I mean? Like he has that.
No, I thought he could have played that, and he kind of was playing that character in GCW a little with the Dynasty, with lately with Hammerstone and Richard Holiday. There was a kind of like a little spin-off, but I think he does. We were talking about this last. I think he's right now a victim of just repetitive booking. It's the same shit, just a different person, and I want to see like you asked for like why is he doing this? Why is he doing all this? And remember, I think a couple days ago he like even kind of said like I will let my actions be, or I will let it be known of why my actions are, something like that, like how he's going to explain himself. But I don't think we ever got that yet. So I am waiting to hear that and see it. But we will see. Charles Mason, I do like him. I think he's a really good wrestler. I think he does have a good character. I just want better booking for him right now, because I think he could be a very dastardly cause chaos. As you were saying, someone just come in and disruptor. He's absolutely a good person. Maybe even to be a leader of a group of disruptors. That is perfect for him, as we've talked about in past podcasts.
Yeah, he's one of those ones that if he gets injured, all they have to do is give him a camera and a desk and whatnot, and he could be a ringleader of some amazing crime syndicate or whatnot. So I mean, he could be one of those guys. He could run the gang. So
yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just like clearing my throat on the microphone.
Let me clear my throat. All right. matches, not the main event, but not even co-main event. Uh, Second to last match is the GCW World Title match as Blake Christian had the open challenge, and you probably could have gave me 50 names. Homicide was not one of them.
Right?
Homicide. I heard the sirens. I was like, Homicide. I was
Right?
happy. It's different, and I I was literally very excited to see what Homicide would do to Blake with the fork and how extreme Blake was going to get with
Right.
this
Right.
match. Um, so I was pleasantly surprised that Homicide was the opponent. And anytime I could see Homicide, I'm always happy. And I get the low rating because it kind of doesn't really have the match, not really a purpose, is open challenge. And I did feel a little bit of feeling out there, but near the end, it kind of picked up where Blake definitely found his
Yeah.
footing with Homicide and the timing was fixed. And I think they both found their roles right at the good time to deliver a good ending to the match.
Wow. I don't know if I can say it any better. um, yeah, this is really interesting. What I'm looking down the road to right now is I want to see how Blake Christian, Joey Janela are going to play out. So for me right
Yeah.
now, in my mind, in my mind, I don't see Blake losing until Janela and him kind of mix it up, because that you can't deny what's probably going to be a great series between those two, and I would hope it's a series.
Yeah, it would be fun to see Blake and Joey kind of go at it for a couple few matches. Um I like Blake's sell too when he was like how shocked he was when it was Homicide's music. He's like, oh, "What?
What the
Homicide?
hell?
No
Yeah.
way!" Like, but that, like I said, you gave me 50 names, I wouldn't have said Homicide. And Blake once again did good as a dastardly heel, and like I think he oversold a lot during this match, but was kind of good with Homicide being in there. And I liked it. I liked this match for what it was. I kind of just wish they would stop the open challenge kind of stuff, but this one was a good one because at least it was a name value of Homicide out. At least it wasn't like a I don't even want to say names, other names, but other names that we've seen kind of go against Blake, which shouldn't have been in there to challenge for the title, in my opinion. But Homicide seems like he does get like probably the most title opportunities than anyone on the roster. Like he just hasn't wrestled for 12 months and shows back up, wins the Rumble, and now he's
Love
going
it.
against John Moxley and Hammerstein. Then we don't see him again for a few months, and then now he shows up, and I think he like, oh, he had that match against Alec Price. And then we don't see him again. I think we've seen him since Alec Price. And boom, now he's get the next title against Blake Christian. Like he's using his creative control and just coming in and demanding championship title
Oh,
shots.
it's like a street cat. It'll come in and eat what it wants to, and then it'll go out and, oh, hey, look, the cat came back again. One of those dudes for sure. And again, doesn't wear out his welcome. He's there to do his thing, put on a quality match, and fucking bounce. I like it a
Yep.
lot.
Yeah, I like it too. And I was happy to see Homicide get this match. And Blake stepped up. I this was a fun, different match for Blake. And anytime, like I said, Homicide's on my screen, I'm happy. He was like one of the people I really loved in Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor back in the day. Okay, and that will now lead us into kind of what we already talked about earlier, the main event of the J Cup 2024, as Jordan Oliver defends the title against Masha Slamovich. Good match again in ring. I thought the storytelling was in the match good. That like this match, I felt the sense of urgency from Masha. I felt the sense of urgency from Jordan to do everything he can to keep the belt. And I thought they had a great classic struggle championship match that really could have gone either way. And as we kind of did discuss earlier, Masha does pick up the victory over Jordan Oliver.
Um, I was already shot. I figured Jordan was going to go to the finals. I was already shot to shit after Alec. I felt like some of the air got let out of my enthusiasm for the show. But again, this is me being a fan. So I hung in there. I watched the whole thing. I thought that they put on a really good match. I just don't know where it's going to go from here. I looked at the Masha thing and I'm like, well, what does she need the title for? And then I looked at the Jordan thing and going, well, I could see him taking it cross country and across the world and promoting the company. But unless Masha's going to do that, we'll see. But I'm curious of what she's going to show me that we haven't already seen. And it's only been what, 8 months, 9 months.
Yeah.
So I guess no one else needs a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess no
that's
one
where it
else
gets
needs a
to
fucking
point.
shot. Just saying.
I'm the same way. I want a new one. I want new blood, a new reason, and I'm the probably one of the biggest Jordan fans, and he's my favorite wrestler. And I was up until I saw Masha. Like Alec Price lost to Masha, I kind of was like, oh, dreading it too. But then I kind of like, as the final was happening, I was like, all right, Jordan's got to win, like just to kind of keep it going and keep the momentum. But ultimately, I was even hoping just for a new champion, new face, new blood, get that belt off Jordan. Hopefully, Jordan could do bigger things in GCW against Blake, against uh, some of these other big heel names, and maybe create a nice big story other than just being the JCW champion. And yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get that, but I will give Masha a couple defenses here to see what they're going to do, see what kind of opponent she's going to get, what kind of matches, and to see what she's going to do to help that belt. Because like I feel like everything Jordan did was for that belt. Even going over to Europe and now Japan, as like he was, I want to bring this belt and defend it and show the fans the JCW. Like he really treated that belt as it was like his baby, and I'm hoping Masha
Yeah.
gives the same respect to that belt, and we'll do a lot of cool stuff and other promotions as well in GCW, JCW to help elevate the status that Jordan kind of took that belt to.
Yeah. I'll just wrap it up like I said it before. I really wasn't anticipating this because I was hoping for my favorite to win. This sounds like every fan. Um, but at the same time, like I said, I don't really know what she's going to show that she hasn't already showed us. Perfectly fine. There may be a reason for this. I'm going to give it a couple months before I start complaining or give it anything else because you never know. And if we want that belt to be elevated, I do think it's in good hands for that. I'm just wondering if the elevation will be entertaining. That's what I'm kind of, you know what I mean? Like great wrestling isn't always entertaining sometimes. We know that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see what goes on. And I want to give it a couple months because there's a point to be made here by whoever made the decision to give it to her. I want to see what that point is.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it time too, but I'm the irrational, emotional fan that reacts in the heat of the moment for what's going to happen for the next 3 months, even though the next 3 months hasn't happened, and I'm pissed off about it. But that's just me as a wrestling fan. I put the fan and fanatic, that's for sure.
That's okay.
One
And
thing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, sometimes it's just a show. And
Yeah.
then when it's a title though, sometimes there's a story to be told.
And
So.
damn it, when it's my favorite wrestler, it's even more of a title, more of a story, and I get more emotionally involved.
That's okay. That's good for you.
One thing I love about Jordan, he's every match. I think he had different gear, and then I loved how he came out at the ending with this and the Trent Acid gear. Always giving love to
Yeah.
Trent Acid and showing love. That's the one thing I could always respect with Jordan. He always has plenty of gears ready and at the helm, ready to go and switch it up. And I appreciated that throughout this tournament, seeing the different gear, each match that he had.
I wish I could say anything more, dude. I really I'm not lying. The air got taken out of my viewing after that. I heard the crowd boo. I'm like, all right, so now I've got to watch another match or two of people I don't. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
know it
And
sounds terrible, but this is my honest opinion. My honest opinion is just, okay, all right. So let's run another championship on her again and see what happens, which is fair. But
yeah, I'm the same way. I want new blood. I've constantly said this over the last few months. New champion. I just think we don't need 9, 10. Like every champion doesn't need to be that long. And then also we don't have every champion on every show. Like we said, we get the Reno, the ultra violent titles out there all the time and not defended out here very rarely. Like but I say very rarely, and it still ended up being once a month, which I don't know. I just wish I want to see our champions, our regulars, our people more predominantly shown and being given the spotlight with the belts to take the company back into the future heights and where it needs to go and stuff. I think it just the fans are asking for the regulars, like our old GCW, and we are getting it back. We're getting Effie and Manser. We're getting Nick Gage a lot more often. We're getting what we're asking for. So I will give it more time, but the in-ring action of this tournament, once again, top notch, the best part of the show. I just, as for me, I wasn't as emotionally invested, or the storylines and the importance of the tournament and the matches and the urgency in the wrestlers while they're wrestling this match kind of didn't get me as hyped and as excited as I was last year. And it could have been the novelty of last year, but I just remember we praised the ever living shit out of it. That was one of the best things they did last year. It was an awesome tournament, ran perfectly. Everything was like perfect on that tournament. And I think we gave a lot of praise to the commentators of getting that urgency out for the fans. The wrestlers told the stories and everything. Like, it was so perfect. And I think this one, little bits and pieces just weren't up as it was last year. I guess is the fair way to say it after two shows. I gave this one like an 8.5, and last year I gave like almost a damn 10. Like, it was up there. And this one was a nice, solid, good show too.
I think production was really good in this one. I think commentary was really good. We didn't have shaky cameras where one camera has too much red while the other camera is all washed out, and the lighting issues are all fun. Didn't have any of that. And I thought that was really nice. It looked like a step up, and it was mentioned in Patreon. Someone actually asked Brett, "Did you guys bring in extra money for a crew or some shit?" And Brett's like, "No, that's our crew." So
maybe they just find more venues. They find a more comfort level of how it's ran, and kind of get, the more they run these places, they know what the dials to set it up to and stuff like that to make it sound good, look good, the lights. I think maybe because they ran this place 2 days already before, they got more comfortable with it. And I think it's showing. Like, we talk about the competitors growing and the wrestlers growing. Like, we see the production. Every show gets better and better production value.
Yeah, it's interesting where GCW is moving into. It's definitely not the place that was doing 6 death matches at a bar. Not what it was. Things have changed. It's cleaned up its image. Again, I really would like to see the company have a little more bite. Maybe the wrestlers have a little more bite. What I'm saying is maybe
old school. Joey's getting more old. Like, I've been saying a lot, like a couple different we're getting old school Joey, and that's what's making him, to me, way more intriguing lately, because we're getting the old, I don't give a fuck bad boy Joey. We're getting like I forgot what other wrestler was just kind of doing the same thing of getting back to, Mance kind of was doing the same thing, like getting back to what made him popular. It's like, I think they're starting to find that and kind of finding their footing in that sense.
Well, I just hope for the best, and I'm curious to see what's going on, because right now I really wish I had words, but if you're just listening to the recording, I'm kind of giving a nothing. I'm not big on Violence is Forever. I'm not big on Masha. I'm not big on Blake. Not like, actually, they're all very nice people. I'm saying, as in the wrestling ring doing whatever, just not big on it, respectfully. So right now is, for me, is kind of so.
I will say this in-ring though. The
try covering. Sorry, go ahead, brother.
No, go. Try covering.
I was just gonna say, I think people need to understand that sometimes it is hard to review and watch a wrestling show when all the champions just aren't. It's nothing bad. I just like other people better.
I just think it's also a refresh too. We've had like 8 months and 30 whatever defenses. That's been awesome. It's been good, but kind of like I just said, Alan, like, it's the indies, like, shit. Like, it's not like, we don't know how long we're going to get Blake. Like, he's better not go no 3 years or any of that. Like, I think there is a time limit, and it's a lot more accelerated on the indies to do these stories. Like, yeah, in AEW and WWE, you could run a story for over 6 months because it's constantly on screen. You know you're going to get them.
Yeah.
On the indies, you might not have 6 months. Hey, I got you for 4 shows. We verbally agreed to it.
Yep.
Like, let's do something in these 4 shows though to go. And even if it's a 4-show title run, and it's not like, hey, every 4 shows we get a new title, but like, if it's like 4 shows and it makes sense to switch the title, even just temporarily, and then switch it back here soon, it gets the fans of like, you just never know when we're going to get a new champion, and the unexpectedness of it. Like, right now, I'm not like, no offense to Blake, like, I'm not excited for whatever his upcoming matches are. I don't think he's losing it. Like, he's not losing it before Collective. So why am I going to get emotionally involved with it? I think the unexpectedness is gone for me, where maybe somebody else could possibly win this night or possibly win that night. I don't see anybody in GCW that could kind of do that right now, and they're not really booking it to kind of keep us on our toes. I feel a little bit it's kind of been a little predictable, even though this tournament, I think a lot of people predicted Alec and we got thrown off our toes, but I think they threw us off our toes in a wrong way, in my opinion. Like they could have threw us off our way and went somewhere else that I think we got a lot more positive feedback from me personally. I haven't seen too much on like the feedback of Masha winning and stuff. I just saw a lot of people disappointed that Alec didn't win, and I get it and I understand it, but the in-ring though was phenomenal. Like I was trying to think, that's what I was about to bring up. I don't think there was one botch. Like I'm trying to think of a botch move, a botch spot, a miscommunication, a bad looking. Nothing looked bad this whole tournament. It was just smooth. I really impressed with the workers during these last 2 J Cup tournaments. I think the J Cup has shown me in ring is so phenomenal, and I just wish the belt would stay in ring and be like forced to be one in ring and be different. So what's Alan saying here? Shows aren't shows aren't going all the time. No, I know. And these like Brett's kind of given his word to it, but I think a lot of it could be like not laziness, but if you really put in the effort to be creative with your creative booking, almost anything can be done if you want it to be done.
Yeah, because you may even have only 4 dates with that guy that you were just talking about. He may get picked up by WWE and not make 2 of them.
And that's like Andrade, like Andrade. I'm glad I was able to see the one because, oh no, I didn't even see the one. I forgot that was the one I didn't go to.
Dude, that was an intense match live. It was like the importance level in the arena. Like it was so cool because we knew we were going to see something good. Like it wasn't some fuck around match where we're humping the poles. Like it was one of those matches where we knew it was going to be a legitimately good wrestling match, and live electric.
What was that? Was that Highest in the Room? I'm trying to look it up right here. Yeah, I didn't go to that one. Highest in the Room. Yeah, that was the one I didn't go to.
I'm hoping to make it to this April show. That's what I'm looking at right now. I got to pay bills.
Yeah, that too. I'm there's a lot some other shows coming up.
every 2 months we're going to GCW in LA, and it's like it's a hotel room, it's a couple tanks of gas, it's food and gas, it's the tickets, then it's the merch, then I don't trust me, I got a number in my head of where it is, and it's a lot. And I'm like, I might have to take a rest on one of these shows somewhere, unfortunately. Also, that June 16th show that was announced for Phoenix, the day before that is Los Angeles, just an FYI.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to know or not know, that's the
that's
the that's the no, it's cool. I was told, and it was kind of in a public forum. So I'd asked and I'm like, hey,
I don't think that one's been announced yet.
yeah, it hasn't officially been announced yet, but it will. It's common sense. They're not going to Vegas. Also, I asked about Las Vegas. I don't know what the fuck is going on here locally, but it just don't seem like we can get our shit together over here to bring GCW to town.
I think it's because the fans won't show up. I mean, look at when they announced that like maybe it was possibly because it was more VXS, that GCW show, but it had the GCW name on it, had all the GCW like talent, and look how many people showed up to that show at FSW Arena.
I think it was the lack outside of VXS promotion.
I think it's outside, like it's just Vegas. If you don't have a big show coming, like Vegas kind of draws on the fans coming to this is for sports, like too. Like that's why Vegas is such a perfect spot for sports. You're going to get the traveling people to fill up the stadiums to spend a weekend in Vegas. And I think that's why it's kind of hard out here. If it's not surrounded by another company or with another company, you're not going to get all those traveling fans. Like if they would have booked that VXS show and that GCW show in Silver Nugget, that would have been awful. Like it would have not been close to fill, and they wouldn't have filled it. But I think because AEW is in town now, you got all those fans who, I want to see GCW. They're out here. It's going to fill up. And I think that's what the bad part with Vegas. And I get, like, I hear a lot of like Vegas wrestling stuff, and I kind of agree if it's like the Vegas crowd is rough to fill up, if it's in that sense of what I just said, because that's what I've heard, and it makes the total sense to me where we don't really fill up places unless it's a big company coming with them.
Well, it's our market. Okay, we'll just talk. Our market here is kind of stale. You can blink and a year later, you're going to probably see about 85% of the same people on local cards that you saw last year. So, I mean, I can
And in the
pay
same spots.
in the same fucking spot, sometimes with the same opponents.
Yep.
You're going to see a manager go out there and do something dirty and get knocked on his ass. The same thing every time. I mean, a lot of it's going to be same old, same old. So it kind of takes the air out of the place. Also, the place that is the local place to go to, don't really use air conditioning. So in the summer, you're sitting in a hot building, it's 110, 115, even higher sometimes during the summer when it was 115, like in hot metal. You're not going to get fans to come to your show when you don't have air conditioning in the desert. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just common sense.
I mean, even that first GCW and Silver Nugget, that was rough. That was a
Yeah,
rough
that was
night. That was
fucked up.
hot. The second
That
night was
was
awesome. Like it was better. There
no,
was air conditioning.
that was fucked up to not have air conditioning at that show. I don't
Yeah, I
blame
remember going
GCW.
outside just to cool down, and it was like 100 outside.
Yeah, yeah, 100 and some degrees outside. We're going out just to catch some fucking wind because magically, somehow, quote unquote, the AC didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work. When you don't turn it
uh,
on and it saves you money, it doesn't work. Don't blame
Alan's
GCW for that at all, by the way. We just
no,
have
they
a lot
don't
of
have any
people here.
say.
Dude, they don't pick up phones here. They don't have a place for people to watch wrestling comfortably every week or two. A lot of the shows out here are more like specialty things. So if you're not within a certain group or whatever, you're just not going to want to go to those shows. That's kind of what we have here. It's groups of friends doing like we'll have a Wednesday show in Vegas and a Thursday and a Friday and it's all the same people going to the same shows, working the same matches. I can see one guy show up on four other companies out here. Yeah, four or five other companies out here, all the same
Easily,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alan said Albuquerque tonight. Was that the is that the Breaking Bad show?
That was Albuquerque was just
Breaking
announced.
GCW?
I'd already checked. It's about an 8-hour drive. So I don't know if I'm doing an 8-hour
Yeah, I
drive to
checked that too. That was the
Albuquerque.
first thing I checked. I swear to God, I went to maps. I'm like, let's see it. And then I saw the blue line and I saw Albuquerque, and in the middle I saw Phoenix. I'm like, oh fuck that. That's at least 5 hours just to Phoenix. Like that's gonna be
Yeah.
longer for Albuquerque. That's all 8.5 hours. I'm like, no, I'm good.
And I am not going to drive my family through the desert for 8 hours. I can see
Oh, yeah.
4 to LA. I mean, but 8 hours through the desert. And honestly, it's 2 hours to Eddie's and 2 hours to LA. So for me, it's really
Yeah.
it's 2 2-hour trips.
Yeah,
Um,
I get
and,
it. They're
and with
doing
a
it
good,
because of the Breaking Bad, Alan. Like that, he's been wanting to go there for a while.
yeah, of all places.
Yeah.
Albuquerque's not the largest place too. So if they sell it out and do well, then God bless them. That's awesome if they do, for sure. I'd like to see
Yeah,
new
it's random.
venues. Could you imagine a new venue like Albuquerque if they have like some crazy ass bar that they go to?
I mean, look
You're
at the Nile was good.
fucking
Like I
sick.
thought that was the for the one of the first new venues of this year. It was perfect, and I think they set a high expectation on future future places they go to. And I know how happy GCW was with that show, even before they like with ticket sales and everything. They just loved everything about that show. So hopefully Albuquerque puts on a good show too. Especially that's a place that he's been wanting to go for a while.
Speaking of wanting to go for a while, Alan's mentioned that Rochester show.
That's
Um,
Brett's show.
yeah,
I think
Brett's
that's
been
gonna be
trying to
a
get out there
banger.
for. Oh, it will be. Alan, I'll tell you, man, you got to find a way to get out there. I don't know if you need to start walking now, but get out to that Rochester show if you can, because that show is going to be fire. That's one of the ones that Brett has been wanting to put on for years.
Over under homicide on the show. He's definitely on
Yeah.
that show.
Yeah, he's going to be on that.
The New York show.
Wow. Yeah. So let's see, where are we at right now? We're at 9:43, so we got about 15 or 20 minutes till
I'm about to
we
say
hit
I'm gonna
my 10
save
o'clock.
my topic that I want to talk earlier. I'll give you the topic now,
Okay.
but we will discuss it next time.
Okay.
And I am coming from a place where I don't watch nearly as much as everyone else. This is me as a more speaking, I guess, as a GCW fan that is aware of what is going on around this scene.
Mm-hmm.
The deathmatch scene. Is it dying in the US? I know it's not dead. I know it's still going,
Mm-hmm.
but there's not new names I'm hearing of, US new names that I'm hearing of that are like the new. I don't want to say Alex Cologne and Prices, but like we had a run there where we got Cole as kind of the new deathmatch, maybe darling, when he was doing it, dipping in there
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit in GCW.
Yeah.
We had like the Oren Vites, the Nolan Edwards that came out of nowhere, the Akiras, the Hoodfoots. We have all these new names that have been coming up in the deathmatch scene. And like I said, I there's a million other people that know that, and like I brought this up more as a for me to learn new names and go check that out, but also to hear because I think the deathmatch scene is a little bit dying as outside of like kind of what we were saying GCW, because you still see in all these other promotions the same 10 names wrestling against each other
Mm-hmm.
in different variations in different promotions. And now, like in GCW, we really haven't seen a new US name come over or come in since, like, I think the last one was like Akira was like the one that sticks out to me stepping up against Alex Cologne. And I get like the stigma and everything. And I get like, we get the Big Joes and we get the Japanese talent, but I guess, well, this is top, but I might as well talk about it. We got time here. So this, I don't know if you want to or not, but I just feel like the US deathmatch scene hasn't produced any really big names that catch my eye in the last like 2 years. The one that caught my mind, and I wouldn't mind seeing him kind of pop up in a GCW. Doesn't I don't want to even tournament. Just one match, showcase it, and then let the fans decide if they want to see you come back or not. Is
Mm-hmm.
MM3. That's like the newest kind of name. Like I know he's not new. He's been around for a couple of years, but I think that's like the new name right now that I want to see. Like there's not names I'm hearing that I need to go check out on the US side.
Name 5 deathmatch wrestlers under 25. Can't name any. You can't.
Yeah.
Maybe American deathmatch wrestling is kind of slowing down. Also,
And I
deathmatch
think it's
wrestling
as
isn't.
go.
Oh, I was just going to say, deathmatch wrestling isn't necessarily being that supported by the major companies. Also,
Or commissions, as you were saying earlier, there's all these now states that are banning glass and banning everything. So as Alan said, it could like I know it's not dying. It's not going to die like this year, next year. I with regards and talent, I think there's just been a stagnant time right now,
yep,
and where
I
we all
agree.
those names I said were boom like in short periods of time we got them, and then now it's kind of done. But now that's why I think, and also I get kind of spoiled, and the deathmatch crew we were kind of talking with. GCW is the top of the top, like, and they are going to bring in talent that is top of the top. And I think that's why, as we've been kind of talking about and somewhat complaining over these last couple of NGIs and TOSs, half the field's from Japan.
Yeah,
But they are like out there, the top of the top names that are out there for deathmatch wrestling, where they won't bring in a Dr. Redacted to go against a like John Wayne Murdoch in GCW, because Dr. Redacted is still kind of like he's been busting his ass and doing crazy shit and booming his name, but not at that GCW level yet. Like there's still
yeah,
levels. Like I guess
yeah.
for me, like there I gotta realize there is still levels
Oh,
to
yeah.
this
There's
with
levels.
GCW being the top. And I guess like I'm just so spoiled. Alex Colon, like Drew Parker, or my favorite deathmatch wrestlers, because they brought a wrestling to the deathmatch wrestling scene. They didn't just bring fuck you, I'm a tough guy. I could watch me hit
Yeah,
and
tube,
eat
tube,
10,000
tube,
light
tube.
tubes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's the same repetitive shit with the same repetitive people is what I'm seeing in these other companies that I don't watch all the time. Like I don't want the deathmatch people are going to kill me here. Show me some names. I know, yes, we know about the XPW and stuff. And there's the other company that we kind of talked off a little bit. We know which one we're talking about that me and you went to and kind of soured on. I think they
Yeah.
might be doing something that I'm asking for. Is kind of they're still using some big names and doing some crazy cool stuff
Mhm.
while also building some new names and trying to establish them a little bit better. And I don't know. I guess I think that's why I feel Ring of Honor or GCW moving towards Ring of Honor, because we have seen so much less death matches these last like year, 2 years compared to right before those last 2 years. And I think that's for me, it feels like it's dying down and it's feeling more of like, let's do crazy in-ring viral shit with that could go nuts like the Ring of Honor crowd. But hey, we got TOS, we got the Showboat, we're allowed to use glass. Let's fucking give them all the glass that they want and put on a spectacle. And I think that's where they're doing it good. I just feel like we're not getting as much of the quote unquote death match as we've seen. And I just want to see new names from the US being kind of pushed.
Okay, so where I'm at here is that I feel positively or negatively, I would say that at some point the company did have to make a decision that it was going to do less death matches. It could be because the talent pool that they're picking from now is more wrestling heavy and they'd rather put on a show like that. We also know that light tubes are now becoming a little more difficult to get and a lot more expensive. And if you have a chance, go look at a bundle of light tubes, like a box of them online. It's the cost of one person's ticket coming in. It's kind of expensive. And if you have a bunch of light tubes busting open on one show, one singles match with light tubes could probably give you the same amount of money to hire 4 people. So those can be very expensive, those matches. Also, if you're not careful, they could become very monotonous because you can only see so many shots to the head before you get bored. I do like that GCW holds back and keeps some of their major violence to tournaments. I do like that. But I think part of the reason why people may watch GCW is because of that violence. So I do
But we get the
believe,
same people doing it too. Even GCW even falls victim to this. It's the
yes,
same core that does it, and it's just nothing. Like, it's kind of nothing new.
you have a great point. You have a great
Yeah,
point. Outside of
and
H2O
politics.
Academy, no, yeah, politics. There's a lot of it
That's the
too.
big thing right now. I think is the stupid bullshit independent politics. Like, what you guys are fucking independents. Why do we got politics that you can't work anywhere? That drives me fucking insane. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no. See, I'm one of those ones though that see because I watch XPW and because Alan also mentioned RSP. I'll tell you this much right now. From what I've collected, if he could get himself under control, he could probably find a job somewhere. And until then, he's just going to have to do singles projects. Um, Look at the size of the man. He should be able to get a job in the majors at any time. He's rocking near me like 6'3, 6'4, 200 some. Maybe he's in the 300-pound range, possibly. That's a hoss. He should be out there killing it somewhere right now. And for some reason, he seems to have himself on his own island. I'd like to see him do his own thing, but for some reason, when I look at him, I'm like, man, he's just not. Maybe he just doesn't work well with people. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but I say I know he's killing it, and yeah, Alan just said it right there. But I
Yeah.
know he's been killing it and doing some new cool stuff in MLW, which is nice to see. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, I just feel like, and I love deathmatch, but I guess I think I have a quality of death, not even a quality, like a stylistic match that I like. I don't want to see 4 guys back in 2 matches in a row just swinging the same light tubes and hitting each other and cool glass. Like,
Yeah.
I love seeing the wrestling that Cologne used to do and the high flying Parker used to do with that shit. Like, they brought something different. And I think for me, maybe I'm just trying to I want to find someone new I want to get back into deathmatch wrestling. And I feel like GCW's been doing it, but it's been like those Macisos against Masha and Rena, or Rena against John Wayne, or Macisos against Jimmy Light. It feels like it's the same people. And I just want new. I want to see something new. And I was just thinking, like, when was the last new talent I could think of? In, I guess, GCW. I think Dr. Redact is like the last kind of name, like from the undergrounds, that I heard kind of rise their way big time. And he started as a totally different character, but he's
Yep.
like elevated himself in that deathmatch scene. I know he's a name that we hear a lot on the Patreon to show up in these tournaments. But like, he's the kind of person like I'm talking about. Like, he's the last name I heard of, and that's like over a year ago. Like, what's the next new name in deathmatch? What's the next new like person? I wanted to go check it out, and it made a good
We did
conversation. And
we did have we did have Hunter Freeman, and then just like a lot of other
That was
death
another name we
matchers,
talked about. Yep.
they something happens to them because they live that wild life that they show up in the wrestling ring to have. And holy shit, a guy who looks wild actually lives a wild life. Who knew he was going to get arrested? I mean, for Christ's
Yeah.
sake, the guy takes like he takes shots to the head with glass and shit. He's probably not a Rhodes Scholar. So I mean, you're
That's
going
the
to
name
get
we brought up.
yeah, and I'm just using that as an example because I mean he was a fantastic, very nice guy to me. Every show we had a chance to, we said hi to each other. Like a lot of the wrestlers, we say nice things. The wrestlers come up to us and go, "Hey, thanks a lot," da da da, and it's a good time. But yeah, I mean, who else are we looking at? We're looking at people like Dirty Ron. Oh God, I said his name. No, actually, I think what he's doing, we could have had the summer of Dirty Ron 2 years ago, and he
Yeah, thank
fucked
God we
that
did.
up. He
For my
fucked
sake,
that
thank
up.
God he did.
He could have had, well, let me tell you what he is without really, you know what he is? Take the makeup off, the wild streak, all the stuff he does. That's early Janela. Nobody
He's a
else sees it.
Carney. I
It's
just see Carney.
well, you know how that's where it all started from.
I mean,
He's
that
one
is
of
the
those. He's a performer.
business.
That's the
Yeah.
business, just like a circus performer in that sense too. He puts on makeup and he entertains. That's circus, you
Yeah.
know. Who else do we have that, you know, half canceled, whatever that fucking is? I don't judge people, so it's really interesting to see people judge on that aspect. Cruel, not
That
Cruel. He
yeah.
hasn't been canceled, but Schlack. Why the fuck do we not have Schlack? Like we need death matchers.
No, sorry. I just saw, I don't know if you saw the promo. Like I
Uh-oh.
just saw a Slack promo. No, like sorry.
He can't make it.
He's checked out. He just wants the money checked out. Like
Oh, okay.
that
Was he
was
saying bad things? Was he saying naughty
no,
things?
no.
Okay.
No, it was all work, a promo stuff, but it was just like I don't know. I just want to I don't know.
I
I
love
do
Cruel.
love
Yeah.
I love the death match. I just want to see, I guess, my stylistic, but I'm also like, I want something new. I don't want to see the same 10 people. I don't want to have to go to Japan all the time or the UK, but the UK's got some big names, like cool new names. Emerson, was there an Emerson Jane? She was
Emerson
like, came out
Jane,
of nowhere. That's like, there's
Big
one name
fucking
already that I can
Joe.
name out in England. I can name one big new name over there. That's a death match wrestler, but I can't like honestly name one. And that's on me. I don't watch all the other death match promotions, and I should, but I just can't get into it because I just feel like it is so repetitive. But when I do get a chance to see like MM3 and some of these other wrestlers and other companies, when they get to do it, like I'm excited for it, but then I just feel like they get back into the same rut and same groove again. And I don't know. I was just looking at that, and yeah, Fatu was another one. We kind of thought about if he'd actually just dove into the death match after that TOS one, that would be a fun fucking name. But that's something like that. I'm looking like who's the new one in the US, and I guess we'll see 2024. Hopefully we'll see some new names and new US death matches kind of re-emerge from the scene and bring it back, because in my opinion, I feel like deathmatch for me is dying in the US, producing new talent. But I guess that every sport and every wrestling,
I can't.
It's yeah.
I honestly can't fight that at all. All of our death matchers, if you look at it, most of them are aged or aging to a point to where in 10 years, I mean, who are replacements? Tremont can only go so long.
That's what I'm kind of thinking of. Like, that's what I feel like they were seeing the same names because no one else is either doing it or breaking through to that next. Breaking through to that next level.
What if it's so fucking dangerous that it takes a crazy? Dude, so many people have cut their fingers just trying to cut an apple that I couldn't imagine trusting someone to just put a fucking piece of glass across my head. I mean, I'm thinking about it.
We were kind of talking with Gabe. The deathmatch scene might be like not. We might have to get rid of just the two part of it, because like we've seen some extreme matches. Like if we go to the Hunter Freeman Mance Warner match, there was no glass used in that match. There was a bunch of a bunch of doors, a bunch of barbed wire, a bunch of chairs, everything except light tubes, and they had a fucking crazy ass violent match. And like AEW had a Texas death match last night, but holy shit, it was just as violent as anything I've seen like without glass. And like I think maybe we could start formatting and putting our death matches together without glass that could go back to like with the wrestling with it, but also we don't have to just do glass and find innovative ways to use glass if we are going to use it.
So, yeah, Alan said here he thinks
That too,
deathmatch is
yeah.
dying because it gets heavily restricted. Absolutely.
I agree.
Also, you
Can't
have
jump
a very large multi-billion-dollar company who's redefining wrestling as this vanilla thing that's what they've got. It's an easily digestible peanut butter and jelly sandwich is what WWE is making. The thing is they're ignoring all the other aspects of wrestling, like the little people wrestling. Like a guy used to go out and wrestle a fucking animal at one point. There was so much stuff going on, and AEW may be the only major company that's keeping the deathmatch scene and some others into the public eye. Because right now, the deathmatch scene has gotten so hardcore and dangerous that when you have a normal person watch it, they look at all the blood and they're like, no, that looks
See,
like
that's what I
somebody
was
got
about
in a
to
car
say.
wreck.
I was just about to say that they're like a lot of these young talent, as Alan was saying, too, I think they are afraid to get stigmatized. They do one of those matches and he's a bad car. He can't wrestle. Look at that. He just did that death match. They just see
Yeah.
one thing that is so negative and they won't go back and check out their other history and realize, hey, like they did other shit without death matches that is incredible.
Yeah.
But I think it just to stigmatize, and these new wrestlers are afraid, especially in this cancel culture world now, to get stigmatized at such an early part in their career. To They don't want to be locked in and like labeled as that. So I see that being an issue as well. There's a lot of issues, I know. I was just like thinking about it though. Like I love the death matches, but I just don't get hyped, or I haven't seen anything that makes me go, oh shit, that's one I want to see lately.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it's the same repetitive names that we've been seeing on the US scene.
Well, death matches definitely take a special kind of person. To be a deathmatch wrestler is a special kind of person. I will say this much. I've been in a car with a specific death matcher at GCW. I've also been in a car with a lot of wrestlers who aren't death matchers or people. Bro, the death matcher is a different breed. Dude is completely different than the rest of the people that were around me. I mean it in a good way. There's just a level of toughness. There's a level of something there that
Something's
the
off.
not off. It's just if you met a coal miner who's been doing it for 25 years, there's just a level of toughness that he may have that other people don't. So, you
Yeah.
get someone that's been a bricklayer for 20 some years, they're going to have some level of chiseled toughness to them that, 20-year-old kid doesn't have. So, yeah.
I will go back to what you said though. I if it's gonna cost, if I get my choice right now to see a John Wayne Murdoch versus Rena in a death match, or I get to see a Viking go against somebody else, like if the death match, the cost of that and like everything's going to be the reason, like that's like, as you said, 4 tubes of light tubes, or 4 cases of light tubes are going to cost possibly a wrestler's
A
pay
wrestler
for
or
that
two.
day. And
Yeah.
I would rather give up the death match if I get the Vikingos, the Great Sasuke's, and all these names. So there's a give and take to it. And I think they have been doing good. And I've said it before, when they're able to do death match, they're going to give us it. When they're not able to, they're going to try to make us happy and enjoy the show in a different way. Um, I don't know. That was just my thought. One of my thoughts to kind of get one going.
And the other reason why death matches looked down on also is because the previous death matchers that did it, a lot of them were kind of wild people, and a lot of them at CZW and various other companies couldn't wrestle for shit.
I was just about to tell you, like, I think I might, like, since I'm in like a death match kind of mood, I might go back and go watch some more old ZZW stuff, kind of like how we were doing before, to kind of get back into it and watch some of that stylistic that I kind of liked. I really liked what they were kind of doing with their crazy wrestlers in CZW.
If we ain't doing shit next Thursday, because we may be busy Tuesday, I'm not sure. But
Mhm.
if we're doing not doing anything Thursday since there's no show to review, we could pop some matches on and just bullshit.
Watch along or something, yeah.
Yeah, man, I could give us a list of stuff. I mean, if we get thrown off of wherever, we can even go on my account if we needed to, but we don't get, dude, I have not gotten a lick of trouble.
No,
No,
yeah.
because I don't even post the video after it's done. I basically go live and I just do it. And also, that's kind of fun because then if people are just talking or, yeah, Alan, for sure, man, you'll know what's going on. it's fun to tell people stuff. Like Alan was in one time where I was just live on, I don't know what, Tuesday night a couple weeks ago. And I'm just kind of talking about stuff because I knew there was only four of us in the room. So I'm like, okay, let's kind of talk. Nobody say anything, but, and then we just kind of talk about it. So yeah, man, we could do one where I grab a couple, like a list of a couple. I'm pretty good with
Kind of like how we
picking
did the last
matches.
time. That we had two different like styles that we watched, but it was so fun. But watching the old school shit
Yeah,
that I never saw before.
you were going more for wrestling matches, and I was going more for just blood.
Yeah, that's what I
But
said. Like I'm a balanced person. I think right now I don't know. I'm feeling like I want to see more death matches. I feel like I haven't seen what I've been wanting to see in death match lately from GCW. And like I said, I don't check out other companies, but I might be checking out some more stuff here lately. Just kind of quench my thirst there.
I do watch XPW, but it's like I watch it because, okay, I would watch NASCAR for car wrecks. Same reason why I watch XPW. If you watch their show, there's going to be some fucked up, stupid shit that you will not see anywhere else go down. And you're just kind of there to laugh at it. That's unfortunately what it is. Like one time, the announcer, I can't remember his Larry or whatnot, he got fucking mad because the camera or his microphone or something wasn't working mid show live. He's just like, well, fuck it. And I'm like, oh my God, I love that stuff. I really do. I want to see how far down the rabbit hole it goes. And for me, XPW actually does have, I don't know, like it goes way down in levels that I didn't expect. And I sometimes just want to see how deep the ditch goes. I don't do politics and all that stuff on that end with wrestling and stuff. So I don't really dick with that stuff. So I just watch what's entertaining. Is somebody going to bleed? I'm watching that then. You know, is someone going to get hit with some shit? I'm going to watch that. Shoving a needle in someone's dick was actually one of the few times where I was like, nah, I can't defend it. I won't review it. I won't, that right there was the only thing that's actually the only time that I don't like Big fucking Joe. That was
Yeah,
the
that was
only thing I've ever
that was a
seen
little
Joe did.
disappointing seeing that he was involved with it.
Yeah, and that guy was on GCW like a week or two before he was on XPW pulling that shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good way to
I
not
think
get.
that's why I was so disappointed. Like, oh, we're about to see some more of him. Never mind.
Yeah, that isn't gonna happen. That isn't gonna happen because
Yeah.
pulling tricks like that won't get you on. I mean, GCW is like the third largest worldwide touring company. You're not gonna have
Ain't gonna
guys
pull
who
that
shove
shit.
shit. That's so fucked up and stupid. My camera keeps going out. It's 10
All
o'clock
right.
anyway.
Yeah,
So
but I'll say, let's get back to regular wrestling here and finish up this J Cup.
we covered it
Another
all.
good J Cup. Yeah.
Very wrestling heavy, which made me very happy. Like I said, the air kind of got taken out of the room when Alec didn't move on, and then we'll see how that
I
goes.
was just
But
about to say we'll see here. Like we asked for something new. We got a new champion, so
not
let's give it
really. We
time and
didn't
see what
really get
happens.
a new champion.
Right.
We just got they just traded
A new
plates.
person.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens though and go from there. But right now, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there isn't a single champion right now that for me just I right now I'd like to see other champions and nothing personal against these people at all. I
Yeah, it's
talked
nothing
to
personally.
almost
I just want new matchups. I want new stuff right now.
I just don't know what phase GCW is in right now. I don't know what to
Yeah.
call it. I don't know what to call this phase. It's a very interesting phase. It's like the happy
Yeah.
phase. Like
I think Electa's gonna be nuts though. Those shit Joey's announced already. Like, holy fuck. It's Joey Janela Spring Break is going to be the show of that weekend, I think. And that usually is the show of the weekend, but goddamn, some of these matches they already announced is insane, and I'm looking forward to it.
we need more Joey in GCW right now. In some weird way, we need that creativity. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
yeah.
know. Something. We're missing the bite. We're missing some of the yeah. This is so weird. We're the GCW guys, and we're even like, well, yeah, well, she got the
But we
chance.
had a bunch of good shows, and we still did get good shows here. We just don't agree with the
We did.
booking, but I think we have been on a very good roll of awesome, exciting shows lately. So,
And it's not personal.
and always providing a lot to talk about.
Yeah. And it's not personal. It's literally booking.
Yeah,
I talk to Blake at every show, and every now and then when I get rough on him, he'll be like, "Hey, well, I still got the champion, not leaving it as quick as you'd want it to be left." And I'm like, "No, no, no. It's definitely the booking." I've talked to all these people and they're all fantastic. I'm just saying I would like to see them maybe over here so that my person that I like is over here, but that's
exactly.
being a fan.
It's
That's being a
my
fan.
personal booking. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So
Alan,
see what
real
happens.
fast. I'll answer that question. I have no idea. Like I said, I just started independent wrestling 2020 during the COVID time and found GCW, which really introduced me to independent wrestling. So if I have to say names, all these names I'm going to say are like Ring of Honor guys that are like of the lower tier that I know that did a lot of work in independence, other places. So I don't really have any name off the top of my head, and I wouldn't know too much about it. I always kind of what I usually use that indie Hall of Fame for is like I hear new names or names that I've heard of and maybe didn't see, and I go check out their shit and kind of find out what they did and what was their stuff. So I always look for like I always just kind of receive the Indie Hall of Fame. I don't, that's one thing I actually kind of don't book is the Hall of Fame because in the Indie Hall of Fame I don't really I will take ignorance on that, and I'm still learning a lot of independent wrestling that's outside of like Ring of Honor stuff.
Okay, so for me, when it comes to the Indie Hall of Fame, half the no shit, I can't even remember who's in, but I can tell you this much:
Got to, yeah.
there was a lot of mid during that time. So unfortunately, there were a lot of fan favorites that once summer was over, they were forgotten about, or they stopped doing it because they got their shit sliced. Like somebody gets
Yeah.
their arm sliced and they're like, well, fuck this kind of shit. And then you don't see them next year. They may have been popular, but they may have been popular because they were some skinny little shit that knew how to take a baseball bat to the face. So, you know what I mean? Like some of these guys, you could tell they just wanted money for living expenses and get in the ring and do their thing and get the fuck out.
I A
I
name
couldn't
just popped in
honestly.
my head.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he's in AR Fox.
No clue. No clue. Do you
Uh,
think he's deathmatch? Yeah. Yeah, he
well, it's
is.
not
Yeah.
deathmatch; it's Indie Hall of Fame.
Oh, indie. Oh shit.
Yeah,
See,
so it
I
doesn't even have to
automatically
be
went to
deathmatch.
deathmatch.
Yeah. That's one name
Fuck.
I think is just because what he's got a late career resurgence, obviously. He was a very influential wrestler with a lot of people he's trained, and I think that might be able to get him on the impact that he's left in independent wrestling nowadays, like Mr. Danger and stuff like that. I think he would be a good option for Indie Hall of Fame, even though he's still an active wrestler.
I know nobody likes but DJ Hyde. Maybe he should go in as a CZW promoter that really helped put a lot of this shit on the map.
Yeah, see, I don't know too much. I've seen
And
one
you
documentary on him, so
well,
I
we
know a
have
little bit
Danny.
of him, but not a lot.
Dude, there's so many names, but there isn't so many names. It's a really weird industry when you get down into the deathmatch scene. A
Is
lot of people
Tremont
don't
in?
like each other. That's a good question.
That's one name too, so maybe.
I think Tremont should go in, and then his little bump on his forehead should go in separately.
Cut
Every
it off.
time I see that, that's the blood bump or whatever it is, right? He's got that bump on the front of his head, and I'm like, dude, that thing. Have you ever seen Total Recall where that thing comes out of that guy's stomach and it like if you hold its hand, it tells the future? Oh, dude,
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Look up Total
remember the
Recall
alien
Arnold.
from Spaceballs. That's about it. Coming
Oh
out of
my
his
god.
stomach and
Yeah,
dancing.
that was a good ass movie, dude. I love Spaceballs. Okay, here we go. Alan got some names for us. Michael Modest, Paul London, Jimmy Jacobs, Excalibur, Christopher Daniels, cheerleader Melissa, Tracy Smothers, Ruckus. Tracy Smothers should definitely go in. Ruckus, Lufisto, Homicide, Jerry
Yeah,
Lynn.
that was last year's group. And then the
Okay.
one
Okay.
before that. Actually, there's missing the year before that, I think.
Sorry, Alan.
Yeah, those are
I'm a
Paul
dumbass.
London.
Yeah,
That's a
those names.
surprise.
Yeah, that kind
That's
of
good.
is a
Interesting.
surprise, but he did do a lot of work with TNA.
No, yeah,
And
no,
with
I know all those guys are in. Yeah, the first half I didn't up until Excalibur, I didn't know, but I thought like Christopher Daniels, cheerleader Melissa Tracy, and all those I think were like around
yeah,
the Hammerstein ballroom time.
yeah. This is class 3 gonna getting ready to go in here. Um, I don't honestly know. I'll be Green Phantom. Honestly, I will tell you,
Oh, that's a
Green
good one.
Phantom should go in because he was working CZW way back in the day on death matches.
What's that IWS guy, the owner?
Oh
The
yeah,
crazy guy.
Crazy Manny.
Yeah,
Crazy
crazy
Man.
man. He should be in
Dude,
it.
That dude does nothing but sit online and talk about how many drugs he's taking.
Yeah.
That is insane at his age. He's like in his
He-
late 40s or early 50s or some shit.
I really
That
appreciated him reaching out to us and thanking us for talking about his company on our podcast and giving us the details that we were asking for on the podcast. He was very nice to us online. I definitely
yeah.
enjoyed interacting with him. He's fun. Like I actually would love to talk to him on the podcast just to fucking talk to him because he's out there, but in a fun way.
Dude. Oh my goodness.
All
I
right.
do like when people reach out to us. It's always really nice. We get a lot of people who it's kind of funny. They'll actually hear a little thing we say here and there and they'll be like, "Well, it was actually this." And I'm like, "Wow.
Yep.
I didn't realize how that little detail was so important to them." But it is
Yeah.
every
And
time.
we catch a lot of details too that they're kind of surprised we catch. So that was kind of cool to hear that.
Effie especially. He says we catch the minutia is what he says. Because for the longest time, nobody was really tearing apart Effie's matches. He puts a lot of things into his matches that people really don't see if they're not paying attention. And I wish I could explain it to you, but you have to really watch him. And he loves when he told me that I've got him about 90% figured out. There's more to him than people really because only so often is he truly challenged. He's got a good brain on him. Really looking forward to seeing what he does with Mance too, because Mance, Dan, those guys are awesome.
This has been a fun old school rivalry. I really love what they've been doing too. Yeah.
I hope it continues. Anyway,
Yeah. Well, yeah, we will see because there is no GCW shows this weekend. This podcast will hopefully be out by Saturday. Yeah, we'll be out by Saturday. I should have time tomorrow night. And then we don't know. You keep an eye on our socials. We do have something exciting, hopefully, coming up here soon.
oh,
Very
yes, we
exciting,
do.
actually.
Yes, we do. We may be very busy boys.
Yeah, it would we got possibilities, but we don't know if we will be on Tuesday or Thursday or maybe another night since there's no show GCW next week. Maybe we'll figure something out, but keep an eye on socials. We'll keep everyone updated as soon as we find out some stuff and the information to let you know when our next live show was because it's been fun doing these live shows. Alan, thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you,
Ivan J
Kev,
stopping
Alan.
by again.
Yep. Kevin was here. Quite a few people
Oh
stopped
yeah,
in that
Kevin, yeah.
didn't say anything
Biz,
too.
yeah.
So
So yeah, thank you guys always for coming in. Always these have been fun. Makes us want to do these lives even more. So we will probably be live again next week and with another podcast. And maybe since there's no show to review, we'll just bring a bunch of topics. If you, Alan, have some stuff you want to bring up, say it
yep.
in the chat. Obviously, that's tonight, and we will talk about it. But it might be just another nice little roundup again episode and just do a bunch of talking on GCW and put out a little podcast. It might not even be a 2-hour one, but 3-hour one. But who knows with us? We'll get to rambling.
Could be one, could be four. Just depends
Yes.
on what's going on. Lately, it's just been the time has stopped us because if it wasn't 10 o'clock on our side, I
Yeah.
could probably go another hour easy.
Yeah, I'm
So,
tired. I need to get off from my side. But yes, please follow us on social. We do have exciting news we hopefully can announce here is coming up here soon,
mhm,
but
mhm.
it is pretty meaningful, at least to
Exciting.
me a lot. I have meaning to this announcement, and I know you do too. It's cool that hopefully we'll be able to announce it here soon. We do got exciting stuff coming on. It might change the schedule a little bit, but as soon as everything's out there and we post it out there, we will give all the information out and keep everyone updated on the future of the GCW Plants podcast.
And for right now, I'm not doing the preview show. Priorities have changed. You'll see why here soon.
Yes, there are, as a wise man once told me, reasons for everything.
There are reasons for everything.
Yeah, J Cup, night 1, night 2, awesome show. Another strong J Cup and new champion, Master Slamovich. And we will have to see what becomes of the JCW title with the new champion of Masha. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Taco
Oh, I just saw
Bell.
the Taco Bell. I know I ate earlier. I'm not even hungry.
Dude, I love this shirt. I was actually thinking about buying another one because this is a 90s style Taco Bell shirt. I actually had to buy it from a print from someone. But
You
this
should
is
have
what
kept it the old colors, old
well, so
dark red and yellow.
right? Yeah, these are the 90s colors though when Taco Bell was being cool. So I was like, oh fuck yeah, I'm getting one of those. And
Yes, I will. Can't go wrong with a Taco Bell shirt.
dude, we'll see you next week. Alan, you can talk to us anytime. You know how that is. Bizzard was in here. Kev, you guys all know. Just contact us at any time.
Yeah.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you again,
And
Alan. And go ahead.
look for news coming out soon, guys. Really, there's going to be some news coming out soon. And it's for the podcast, for all my people. We're gonna have a good time.
Yes, I'm excited and can't wait till everything falls into place. And we got an exciting future coming up. A lot of good shows coming up. Collective sneaking up on us. I just thought about it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get out of work here soon. I didn't say that on live. So yeah, I got doctor's appointments coming up, I think.
We didn't even cover WrestleMania 2025 may very well be in Vegas. We'll get to that on
okay, so I did see I saw what you said, yeah, too. That's a possibility now. And I think I think it's a stronger possibility than because of the new ownership and where their base is and everything. I if WrestleMania comes here collective weekend, watch out.
Vegas, Las Vegas collective.
Dude, I'm gonna save up now.
I'm gonna be.
Do you know I'm going to everything. Yeah, you're gonna have to drag my dead corpse everywhere.
Dude, oh my god. It's gonna be it's gonna be a nut house. At my house alone, it's gonna be a nut house. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I know. Like last year I went to the collective. Now this year I might like have to do what I did last year. Take a day off or take 2 days off to sit at home and enjoy 4 wrestling shows all day long.
Dude, Steph already cleared in case people come to my house. She already cleared the day off. She's like, I'll just sit here, clean the house, and if anybody comes over, we'll just cook and clean and just do it that way. So we're expecting it's going to be a little busy. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, the collective, if we have a Las Vegas collective,
think all the money we'd save. No traveling, no hotel. Merch tables, here we come.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you. And here's the thing.
I'll be up there rolling the money.
Dude, okay, so we've been doing all the tie-dyeing and stuff. I actually just got stuff to strip black shirts to white. So we're going to take some GCW shirts and strip the black out of them and recolor them.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
It's
nice.
Very interesting. So that's all I have to say, my friend. I'm good.
All right. Well, episode 82 in the books, Jersey Cup number 2 in the books. And I am very pleased with both this episode and the J Cup because it was strong.
Sweet.
All right, let's get him out of here. It's late. All right, so we should be pretty good at this now. And your mic is working this time, so we could do it properly. Because last time your mic wasn't working.
No, dude, the inside piece of the microphone fell out.
I forgot to even ask you about that.
What's that? Oh, what happened?
I forgot to ask you about how easy was it to fix?
It wasn't fixed actually. Now it's our second microphone, and it's only used through the audio thing. The piece that goes in here for the whatever cord. It broke off inside and fell in.
Yeah.
So since that microphone's only going to be used as an audio interface on, I'm going to just use that one as a regular cord. But yeah, there's going to be right here where my hand is eventually a second person. And then we'll try to do something there. Or if it's like fuck around at some point, like not an official show, but just I'll probably bring her over here just to say hi and watch wrestling. So
yeah, for sure.
Hell yes. More people, the better. It's kind of fun to have more people too.
Yes. I've been enjoying these lives and the numbers have been good and the fans have been awesome and enjoying it too and providing excellent topics for us to talk about.
Oh, that's the other thing. The numbers. Holy crap. We have people watching and listening and checking us out on all different platforms. Fucking thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Wow. Viewership the last few episodes have been breaking records for us on, as you said, all the different platforms. So nice to see us still growing, and thank you all the fans for listening. And I think we're going to keep on growing and keep on going like GCW here. So please stick around for the fun ride. Hopefully that's going to be coming up here soon.
Stick around for news. In the next couple days, you're going to see some news.
Yes. All right, let's get him out of here with one of these.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Long live.
You
want to delay? What's going on here?
Yeah.
GCW.